Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2020 Indian Edition. My name is Angar Singh Chahal. I go by The Experiment, and with me is a man who needs no introduction. It's Animesh Agarwal. You might know him better as 8-Bit Thug. Thug, day 2 of the semi-finals, mate. How are you feeling about all this?
I'm not any less excited than I was yesterday. I mean, like, we have Group C coming in, Team XSpark coming in. What else can I ask? I mean, like, I would love seeing those boys play. The way they play, the way they have played throughout. I want to see if this changes actually change the way they have played in the opening weekend, because we saw them struggle on the seeding round. So let's see what this boys got for us today.
See, as far as the seeding round goes, I'm still convinced that none of the teams are really, playing, giving it their all because, again, it was just a free day, fun day for all. But yeah, I mean, they definitely might be showing up like they did on day one when we first started this about a week ago, when they just completely just wiped out everything in front of them. So it's going to be exciting to see whether they can bring that same momentum forward this time. But it is going to be an exciting day, as a lot of the unknown teams, so to speak, have been performing really well. And in fact, yesterday we saw quite a few surprises.
Yeah, I mean, like, yesterday was a day full of surprises, given the fact that apart from Mayhem, we saw a variety of results, each 4 games going into the hands of 4 different teams. I think this is what was very shocking and surprising. We saw a couple of new names, like you mentioned, come up on the top, and I hope we get to see something similar today. But yes, we have FALLENangelz and XSpark coming into play, so I definitely want to see will they change the momentum of the points table? Will they change the scene of the points table? I mean, like, obviously there is gonna be a change with XSpark coming in, but will FALLENangelz too be able to make their way into the top 5? Because XP, frankly speaking, we don't have much time. I mean, like, these boys don't have a lot of time to make it to the not top 5 exactly in this one, but to the point where they qualify.
I agree, but well, they are at the point of qualification, and this is what it's all about. It's all about the moolah, and of course, those first 5 slots go on towards the PMPL Season 2. Now, it's all about getting to the biggest and grandest stages of PUBG Mobile, and, if you get a chance to represent your team and your nation and have your flag permanently, imprinted on your chest, well, I guess that is the best feeling of all. But again, that is what the teams are playing for. And today we are going to have Group A go up against Group C. And of course, Todd did mention that, we have XSpark playing, we have FALLENangelz playing. I wonder if, the way we're bringing this up, the way we're hyping it up, is it going to be pressure for them or no?
I believe that XSpark could be in a lot of pressure, especially given the sense that the way of perform and the amount of fandom they were able to generate over the last couple of weeks. I mean, like, the engagement that XSpark got on their platforms. I follow you, like, I follow social medias a lot, and I tend to see what kind of growth and excitement teams generate. And I was surprised to see XSpark getting so much of love, especially because of the man behind it, and obviously the way these players perform. I believe that these players might be feeling a bit of pressure, but then that's fine. It's a part of the game. You know it better.
Yes, sir. And well, talking about the teams, we have Group A on our screens: VR1 Esports, AZTECS, Futurestation. Now, these teams have been performing well. Futurestation kind of just went big in one game yesterday, but kind of trailed off. And of course, we have FINTOX, Nalayk, and Lord Fam. Now, talking about Lord Fam, they had a couple of good games yesterday as well. Overtly aggressive, something that we want to see on our screens right now. Group B, they will not be playing today, but they do include Team Mayhem, Reckoning, Optimum Esports, and Team Insane. Now, Team Insane, again, they went absolutely insane yesterday, getting a good number of kills and a chicken dinner. And of course, they are joined by Team LegStump, STALWART Esports, and Nox Official.
Yes, looking at the way the groups are faring, I'm pretty sure we are moving ahead for a very good and exciting day, because Group C comes into play: XSpark, FALLENangelz, INGL, the MVP boys, the MCYS boys. We're gonna see these boys fight it out. Mayur from INGL, we've seen these boys play really well. Also ESN, ReaperX, and not to forget BlitzkriegXP, DXP, comprising of Sakriya, Madrock, Volt, Naughty Boy, and Daddy. A quite experienced side. So, I'm definitely hoping that today is gonna be a day of very competitive, like a highly competitive day of PUBG Mobile.
Absolutely, it is definitely going to be competitive, and it's going to be action-packed, full of drama, because day 1 of the semi-finals was exactly the same. We started off with a bang, and well, talking about what the map is going to be like, the schedule is on our screens right now. We kick it off in Erangel, then we head over to the jungles of Sanhok. After that, we're going to head to the deserts of Miramar, not Weekendy this time, and of course, in the end, we're going to come back full circle to Erangel. Now, I guess Erangel is the crowd favorite, and it's probably the most comfortable map for a lot of these players. But then what sets you apart is how good or how versatile you are on the other maps, especially Thug. I know that you have a soft spot for Miramar as far as tactical prowess, and you think that it is probably one of the most competitive maps. So you want competition, mate? I think you're going to get it today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like today is the best day when we are for our audience and for us as well. If we are looking to see those intense fight and those strategic fight, because last day, if I am not wrong, what we got to see more of was a very aggressive game style from every team. Although they did hold on until the fourth circle, but after then it was all chaos. Here we have Team Insane points table until here. Team Insane leading the charges 73 points. We have FS following them with 50, Mayhem with 47, up 50 with 43, and then it's a pretty close affair. Like if you see teams from 30 to 3rd to 7th, we have a pretty close affair.
It would kind of seem like Group B is kind of dominating right now, especially with Team Insane and Mayhem right up there at the top. But of course, in the latter half, we have FINTOX in the 9th position. Again, not a lot of kills. 13 is not a bad number, but of course, that average is falling a lot below than what these teams should be putting out. Now, of course, they are the best from our so-called Tier 2 or amateur circuit, but they are on the brink of getting that professional tag. So, well, I think this is the time that, they need to buck up and basically showcase what they drama ensued that happened a couple of days ago, but they still are a good team. Well, we're going to find out what they bring to the table as the plane is in the sky for the first time, and we are flying from the southwest to the northeast direction over Quarry, over Pachinki, all the way over Yasnaya. And well, let's see what the players are going to drop, because if you have a look at the plane path, I think the map is split pretty much in half.
Yeah, I mean, like I love this plane paths, and I believe that the Erangel gods have been showing mercy on the players. We have seen the circles, we have seen the way the end zones are coming up, and I believe that it's not too much of a haphazard circle that we generally get to see, or the haphazard circles which sort of became a meta in early 2020. But right now, we see MCYS taking a drop at Primos. No team going at Query is something that is definitely leaves a big void in the map of Erangel, but I see a lot of teams taking drops as the flight approaches the center of the circle, giving me a hint that we might get to see a clogged Rozhok School Pochinki Ruins and Water City area.
You're right, but what is standing out for me right now is we have two teams heading for Primorsk. It is the FALLENangelz and MCYS. Now, Zark has dropped a little bit to the side at Ferry Pair, just a little bit west of Ferry Pair, in fact. But this is unprecedented, because normally you don't see teams going for these locations. We've seen Team Mayhem. These guys call Primorsk their home, but this is exciting. This calls for an exciting early engagement as these two teams are going to clash. And looking at the zone again, like you said, Erangel is like it's got strollers on or something. It's got those wheels that help you when you're cycling, because it's a pretty basic zone. And I'm sure, Thug, you'll agree with me, we're going to see a few more concentric circles, aren't we?
I believe that it's a very easy and a very basic circle, unless the zone tries to shift somewhere towards Yasnaya, or we get to see a mess happening towards the northeastern part of Rozhok, involving Rozhok. Like, that's a circle which I think is the only difficult circle to approach in this particular first zone. Apart from that, if this zone tries to end somewhere between Yasnaya and Rozhok, I don't think it's going to be too much of a trouble. My approach would be teams trying to take compounds around the northeastern side of school, where we have the L-shaped buildings, where we have those squad house coupled with a red house near the edge of the hill. So these are some compounds that teams might want to target, but then it all comes down to the mentality and the way the teams have prepped and are well versed with the compounds available in this kind of a circle. Right now, we do have a situation here in, I think that's Lipovka, with BXP and Nalayk, trying to prove that they're not as Nalayk as they sound, and making an attempt at Lipovka going against the veterans in the game.
Well, of course, action has broken out. Ghasti from ESN gets a knock on VR1 Deuce. Now, Deuce has been actually impressing us quite a bit. But again, just a little disclaimer. Oh, that was a beautiful grenade. And in fact, it went down the staircase. Wolf with a wonderful knock, but here's the action. Funk and the boys are moving in. They want revenge on Team ESN for knocking out their mate. And looks like revenge has been achieved because turns out there was only one player. Looks like Team ESN were kind of split up. Oh, I see a few more people in the background over there, but they have paid the price, and looks like they are one man down. Punk on our screens right now, trying to figure out if there's any more opposition around. Wang OP and his teammate are coming in, while Pirate JX is at the other end. Now, this could be an interesting fight.
Yeah, Zoe picking up some good shots, and he might be able to get a couple of knocks, but fails to do so. And I think the best case scenario for ESN here is they back off because they're a three-man, they're a one-man disadvantage. And right now what I'm getting to see is another fight happening between Nalayk and Blitzkrieg around Lipovka. Nalayk is down to two men. We have Ninja and Mafia fighting it out. Blitzkrieg is split in a triangle situation, trying to encircle Nalayk from all sides. We have Nalayk Dark God, I think, going down. BXP surviving 4 men have 2 kills to their name. They might just want to finish this job off and might want to go for the rotation. I believe Nalayk is in a lot of trouble.
They are in a lot of trouble, and just a little disclaimer over here. I'm going to come to my disclaimer in a second. As Sakura is picking a fight with Ninja. The question is he going to make it out alive? Because they do have the man advantage, but right now it's going to be naughty boy and Sakura going up. Sakura jumps, he shoots, he connects, and with that, Ninja is going to bite the dust. That means Nalayk is going to be survived by one member Mafia, who makes the right call of withdrawing from this fight. Of course, it's going to be a better idea for him to try and get some placement points, and that is going to help his team overall. But now, coming to the disclaimer, we love the name Nalayk, right? I mean, it's nothing about the players. Let's just let anyone know, before they're like, oh my God, they're making fun of them. It's just a fun word. I've been called it for, pretty much the entirety of my life. So it's just some fun that Thug and I are having. But Mafia, I mean, that name does kind of instill fear, but the question is, can he make it till the end? We've seen teams do that before.
Yeah, I believe that, it depends. Like, you require a lot of stealth, and you need to be, the skill to make out of the hot-headed teams, and you need to escape those intense fights. You need to play it very safe. You can't hold a very good spot in the zone. You need to have an off-meta spot that you're trying to hold in the circle, and then you need to make your way inside the zone. It requires a lot of skill, a lot of experience, but let's hope that Nalayks are well prepared for the PMCO, the big stage that they are fighting on. Talking about FS Futurestation, this team that is second ranked right now with 50 points. What do you make out of this team, XP?
I mean, again, they are big names, right? I mean, we've known Bope Dope, Frago, Pisom, Rajpukar for quite a long time. They did do really well in the game yesterday, but then they couldn't keep that momentum up for the remainder of the game. So again, it's not like a hit and miss, but we all know that they are capable players, right? But it's all about the confidence. It's all about the morale. I really feel that these two words are not given enough credit because, this, the mental aspect of this game is tremendous. And once you conquer your fears, once you get over that little block that you have, I think you can perform a lot better. So I think that is what's happening now, especially with the addition of big teams like XSpark and FALLENangelz to an extent as well, because they have kind of showcased what they're made of. Let's see if they can keep up with the hype and if they can keep up with that pressure. And if they can, then they are definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, absolutely correct. I mean, I agree all the the way FS have fared and the way we have known them. They are an excellent side, and that's the reason I was very disappointed with the way they performed in week 1. We saw a couple of, in fact, 3 of these teams: Insane, FS, and LS still struggling a bit. But yes, talking about MVP, this team, Spurs, Shopi, Tango, Prashant, Mayur, FTW, they're a good side. I mean, just because this guys popped up in front of my face, I just realized that we could have some discussion around them. What I see, XP, about these boys from MVP is that they have a decent gunpower. When whatever I can recall of them going in a 4v4 close range fight, majority of the time I have seen Mayu step up for their team and trying to take those fight up. So I do believe that each of these teams are have something special about them in which is different from something else. But not all of these teams are a complete team. What I'm trying to say is they don't have an ace in all the aspects.
True, true. I mean, they're like jack of all trades,
Right.
master of none. But I guess that's how you make your team. But have a look at it how Nalayk Mafia is kind of stuck in between teams surrounding him right now, swarming his position. I think FINTOX might spot the lad out, and Mafia might just come to his injuries and be the first team to be eliminated from this game. He does get one knock, but ooh, he does get taken out. And with that, Nalayk are going to be the first team exiting this game, and FINTOX are going to be surprised that they only had to kill one man.
Right, and here FinTalks would want to revive Explicit, and I think they are on a good role here. On FinTalks won't be facing too much of a problem. I wonder what's wrong with, okay, Flag OP is trying to go for some loot. I think must be switching guns. FS has the best spot in the circle right now. They are holding the exact center, so I believe FS does not have much to do, but we need to ensure that they don't make those rookie mistakes where you hold on until the very end without any kills, and then when it comes to the top 5 situation and you take your first fight and you perish. I mean, like, I hate seeing that happen to some good names. I like any team. If you're holding the center and the zone gods favor you until the very end, and then you fail to capitalize that, or you fail to get the chicken. I mean, like, that is what disappoints me the most when I watch every game. I mean, like, it makes me rage.
Well, that is what separates the winners from the rest of the crowd. And don't rage, Thug. We need you to be calm and composed. I understand it is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It's a learning curve for them as well. But now let's find out if the circle is actually going to favor FS. It kind of does. It kind of does. They still have the zone, and they have all the chances in the world. The zone might shift to the southeast later on, but right now, have a look at Lord Fam. They are to the northeast of the main island, and they are even north of STALWART. Now, these guys are far out. Again, no opposition as they come into the zone, because all the teams seem to be kind of concentrated south of the river, which is, again, unprecedented. So if teams want to go and get a good spot at the shooting range or somewhere south of Severny, that wouldn't really be a bad idea.
I mean, like, if we see that particular spot, the southern part of Severny, I think teams might want to take the spot. But generally, I think it's more about the bias that they have towards Rozhok. Whenever we see this circle, I mean, like, no sane IGL would want to go over that. And I see XP's eyes gleaming with happiness as he sees that AWM. But I'm not really sure if any team would dare to go to that open spot and take that, unless we have a late rotation coming in where a team just decides to drive past it.
Hey, give me 10 smoke grenades and I'll go to that open field and get that AWM. It has an 8x with it too. Somebody needs to be told this, and somebody needs to go and do that. I mean, honestly, I get it, but this early on in the game, I think it's worth the risk. But then you have people like AZTECS Pradhan who are going to be baiting that drop. But again, like I said, give me 10 smokes in one good vehicle, and I'll get that AWM for you.
Yeah, right. And here we have FS Guma, who might be going against FinTOX, but then they are divided, separated by the road, this road that goes to Rozhok. So I don't see an early fight happening, neither do I see any pushes happening. But yes, a good place for FinTOX to hold. They got the entire control of this side of the hillside of Rozhok.
They do have this control, and they've got to be careful, though. Again, they're in a good spot to pick a fight with FS. Right now, I like Futurestation's position a lot better, because, if somebody comes up from behind on that infamous Rozhok Hill with that water tower right in the center, that could be pretty much a Death Valley situation. They can get shot at from either direction. And looks like Futurestation already have a clue that some enemy is bound, and that enemy is FINTOX, as Explicit took a few shots.
Right, and looking at the way we have FINTOX and FS going against each other, but I think, like I said, both of these teams would try to hold their ground and would want to ensure that no other team rather enters Rozhok, because if you have another team entering the scene towards the eastern side of Rozhok, towards the squad house, that generally makes it quite difficult for teams to rotate thereon, because they hold one entire entry and maybe an exit point as well, given the circle might tend to shift somewhere towards Yasna.
Now I have a question for you, Thug. We were just talking about Futurestation. Earlier, they were in that compound to the east of Rozhok that you were talking about, right? Now, it's still in the zone, but they decided to move. Now, tell me, psychologically, they want to be in the center of the circle, but that compound was still pretty much in. So do you think, well, it all depends on where the circle's going to shift, because the circle has probably shifted. If it shifts towards the southeast, then do you think they're in trouble? Do you think that's the right move?
If the zone shift was southeast, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think MVP is at a really good spot. Look, this circle somehow feels might go towards between Rozok, Ruins, MVP. I mean, like that area. If you see the map, let's take MVP as the northern part, and then let's hit Ruins and Rozok. But
Well,
no,
it's on Rozok.
it's in Rozok, but then this circle could change the game towards the end circle XP because we have a lot of water flowing just to the center of the circle, which means we might get to see some change happening. But Pukar, why would you chase a DBS when you have a drop with an AWM? Come on, dude.
See, the thing is, Thug, now that everything is Ian Stevens, we have a fair playing field. He didn't know that there was a DBS in the airdrop. So, I mean, he's got to take his chances. But he is going to get that 8x and that level 3 armor. And you never know. He might be in a tight spot, might be in some CQB action, and he might need it. But wait a second, right now, he needs the gods of PUBG to help him out because he has deployed smoke, but his car is on fire. Oh, that was twisted metal, but Addy's bullet is going to make it through and gets the knock. So that is unfortunate. Now, that is the high risk, high reward we were talking about as far as airdrops are concerned earlier on. He should have probably smoked a little earlier, but over here, UP50 going to lay down some hurt as Futurestation are potentially one man down.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what I was talking about. When you have open drops, it's always risky given the fact that you're going against some really good teams who don't really miss their shots. Right now, Rozok seems to be the hot spot for every team. I see VR1, UP50 trying to make their way inside. HEX have already come in. I wonder what FINTOX is doing because they should have already come into action. But right now, I see HEX putting on some lead inside VR1, and VR1 could be in a lot of trouble. They had a sandwich situation between FS and HEX, a situation no team would want to be in.
Absolutely, but I think HEX ReaperX aren't going to be moving up that hill, so they do have a little bit of respite over there. But again, this is not the push that you expect from VR1. Now, these boys have proved their mettle. They have been working hard, and Punk has been leading his team with aplomb. But that was a little short-sighted. Not enough information, not enough scouting. But they are still a whole team. I do believe they are 3 members. Do, Skeleton, and Punk are still alive now. They are in a situation, as you mentioned, a possible sandwich situation. But I doubt any team is going to move out right now and risk the exposure to other teams all around because you got to be careful. Oh, I like the way Rage is actually split up. See, now they can actually turn the tables on them, Thug.
Yeah, see, it depends upon Rage getting those picks. If he gets spotted, then obviously X is gonna try to ensure that they pick up Rage first. What Rage needs to do right now is be very patient, and then he needs to just hold, wait for the correct moment where he stops a push. I would not want Rage to do a step where he allows VR1 to push into HEX. Rather, he needs to be the person who stops a push happening towards VR1. It's very important, you know, when a player holds such a position, he understands the role that he has to play. Majority of the time, it's not about the ability or the skill. It's about the player getting a clear understanding of what I am supposed to do when I'm holding a very important angle for my team. Right now, we have Team X playing it very low and slow. What do you think could be the reason, XP? Some seeding round
Well, I guess
coming up to traumatize them?
Possibly. I doubt it's going to traumatize them. Again, they're a team that, you know, they are going to start off slow, but I'm pretty sure that momentum that they keep picking up, that is going to stay for the end of the game. In my opinion, they're just getting their thumbs warmed up. But it could be anything. They are picking a fight outside the zone right now, north of the river. They were engaged with Lord Fam, but on our screens right now, VR1 are trying to stop an onslaught by Futurestation. Now, Futurestation, they need to move into the zone. The zone is brand new, and it's still centered around Rozok and the school. The school kind of in the center right now. So any team that is going to be on that side, especially on the hill as MCYS, are now in a good position. Now, talking about Futurestation, see, that's what I'm telling you about. Talking about the tables have kind of turned. They've now got to move in. Now, VR1 and Futurestation have already exchanged a few bullets. However, I do believe HEX ReaperX are still quiet. So they can be that one team that can, you know, just deliver a devastating blow. But again, Futurestation have their work cut out. Have a look at FINTOX to the north of our screens right now. So again, now MCYS are in the position to rain down lead, literally.
Yeah, I'm like super impressed with the way FINTOX position themselves. They realized that the squad house, like we talked, is a better entry and exit point for Rozok, even if you want to go for a rotation towards the other side. I mean, like if the zone would have gone towards the Water City or the ruins, even then FINTOX would have been able to rotate from the northern or the southern part. The IGLing from FINTOX came on point, but right now I do see FINTOX somewhat in a bit of
Ooh.
trouble. No, actually, it's LF, Lord Fam in a lot of trouble, and I think it's
What?
FINTOX coming up with those nades and trying to knock the entire team off. LF is down there to their knees. Prince might be the last guy standing. He
Oh.
is, and if he gets knocked out, you might get to see a team getting wiped out
Well,
at 13.
his woes are not over because Futurestation are going to capitalize on the situation as well. They're coming in. Bob goes prone behind his vehicle. Now FINTOX, again, like you said, they are at the entry and exit point of this city, and they are going to try their best to make sure they keep all the teams out. Meanwhile, Futurestation are going to be ending the lights out. Wait a second, they tried to get a knock over there, but they couldn't. Prince is the one who is going to be on fire right now, making sure that his team survives. In fact, he got a couple of grenade knocks. Frag, OP, and Hot Shot from Futurestation went down to a grenade. So that was amazing defending prowess displayed by Prince over there. But he is down to the last two members from Lord Fam, and I do believe Lord shall be picked up. But what an amazing display of grit to defend that house, Thug.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, like the way LF was able to hold that. I mean, like that was they were in a lot of trouble. The way the players stood up, took them down, and you know, and like even two men is a big deal because they were almost on the verge of getting wiped out. Prince went in at just 15 HP, trying to revive his teammates. Now it depends upon FINTOX. I mean, like if I would have been leading a team in place of where FINTOX is, I would have ensured that I clear LF. But I believe that LF would turn out to be a threat to FINTOX, where LF would be in a position that they have nothing to lose, given the fact that they are down to 2 men, they just have 1 kill. They know that it's a doomsday waiting for them. The clock is ticking, and they would want to create mess for any other team. FINTOX should somehow try to make a move in, take that little bit of risk, and try to wipe out LF. However, if we see the way teams are positioned, it's 5th circle coming in, and we still have 43 players.
Well, the new circle has formed, and FINTOX and Futurestation, all the teams on our screen are in the zone right now. Now, team 18, 16, and 3 back there. AZTECS are moving in. Now, talking about FINTOX's position, I think it's good. Now, AZTECS, I do believe Satan moved in. Oh, no, he just moved in behind. Now, they're going to be pushing in. Now, see, the thing with FINTOX is the way they are split up, I think they're in good position because they've got to make sure they defend that ridge to their east from where Team X, MVP, and the AZTECS can actually kind of come in and be a thorn in their side. Now, Futurestation, they are kind of splitting up again. Somraj is a bit to the north, while Bopdope is a little bit to his southeast. So they still have the cover of all the houses, right? Now the question is for FINTOX, do they defend that house or do they get all the people, further deeper into the zone? I think for now, they should pick that fight at that eastern edge, and they might just do very well. Meanwhile, VR1 Esports are picking a fight with HEX ReaperX. Finally, again, their positions are pretty solidified. They don't have to move right now, and all they have to wait for is people charging at them. In fact, I beg your pardon, they do kind of have to move, but I wonder why HEX ReaperX are making this drastic shift.
What I'm trying to understand is, meanwhile, you have Spurs moving in, and we were talking about this boys for MVP. Mayur is also down, but then I think it's not going to be too difficult. MVP took that chance, went in, picked LF off, but however, MVP does look in a lot of trouble, as I saw 2 of their players getting third party, giving an opening to Team X, and Team X would want to move in. However, it's going to be a difficult situation for Team X, as well as BXP, Naughty Boy picks up Destro, and Team X going against the veterans, BXP, F420 OP picking up Mad Dog, and we have a lot of stuff going on. MVP getting picked up. That Sakriya goes down. 420 going in ham at BXP. Team X and BXP caught at the edge of the circle. One of these teams needs to make their way inside the circle, as you have the 5th circle coming in. MCYS Rambo meanwhile picks up another player. Destro goes down as well. Although we aren't able to get too much of a view, but we have the small screen there. Team X Aditya is trying to come in with some smokes, and is trying to make a position where that's STALWART might taking on Vishu. BXP Vault looks in a lot of trouble as Aditya, the sole guy, trying from his team, trying to make stuff up, and what a crazy wipe out coming from Team XSpark XP.
That was absolutely amazing. I thought that both these teams would be reduced to nothing but one-man squads, but Team X or XSpark have come out on top with only 1 member going down in that firefight. Now, they are at the edge of the zone. They still have that little ridge, but they have to move in. I'm going to speculate that they're going to go for that shack and that one little position where FINTOX's Hunt is. Now, Hunt's got to be careful. They've got to be relaying all that information. I'm pretty sure they heard all that gunfire that took place, but now we have a fight on the hill, a King of the Hill situation, if you will, as HEX ReaperX are trying to lay down some shots on Team ESN, who in turn are engaged with MCYS. Now, MCYS currently, I'd say they have the best position, and it all comes down to where the zone is going to move, and the zone has moved to the south. It is going to go towards that hill, so it is going to be a pandemonium. It is going to be chaotic as all the teams are going to be going up the hill, literally fighting for their lives. And well, wow, Pradhan with the AWM. That is unprecedented. You don't see an AWM this late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's a very smart move. Pradhan having that AWM definitely adds the benefit, but right now he needs to put that AWM to use it because they are 4-man squad, and if one of them has an AWM, he needs to connect those headshots, need to get that one shot knocked. Right now, he's like, look at a lot of trouble. MCYS Ignite going in ham with the Scar L4X, which I believe is going to turn out as a meta in coming tournaments. You heard it here first. As Scar L4X right now is at such a great form XP. I mean, like, if you see more games as we come across, it's a gun that definitely connects a lot of headshots. Right now we are Fallen as well. Yes,
absolutely, and Fallen are in trouble right now. Clutcher is going to patch himself up, but they are taking cover behind their destroyed vehicle as all the teams are swarming in like a pack of bees or whatever. But wait a second, like a swarm of bees. Why am I saying a pack? But anyway, Pirate JX is on a domination spree right now. He has got 3 kills in a split second. Now this is exciting because FINTOX are going to have to move speed. Well, in the 10th position. Now we are down to the final 9 teams, and it looks like FINTOX are finally in trouble. Team ounces of survive VR1 Esports position.
what a game this is turning out to. Points, and ESN is showing an entirely different side altogether. Pirate JX going on ham on VR1, and VR1 could be a lot of trouble. They have HEX. Striking now, they need to strike in hot. If they are able to take down one of ESN's player while they are diverted, that's when FALLENangelz might be able to turn this game. One needs to get inside the circle. ESN has the height advantage, Fallen has the man advantage. Which team do you think XP got this?
I think it can go either way. Team ESN is in a good position, but I love how FALLENangelz, they have that entire east hill over there too. They're and VR1 Esports, they are both 3 men alive. This is what I wanted to see. Team ESN finally have an idea that someone is to the zone has kind of moved up the mountain. Now ESN is going to have a lot of work to do over here. They've got to make sure over here, they are going to move in. But have a look at Futurestation, Thug. They are coming in as well. They might just be the dark horses in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, the gear, like you said, has gone and the way it has moved. So haphazardly, but Pirate JX, look at this guy, focus already, leading his team from the front. Now Pirate JX taking on FINTOX, and let's see ESN versus Fallen versus FINTOX. Fallen just do have a chance. It's a 3v2. Chance to revive his teammate. FINTOX meanwhile also gets a chance to revive, but FINTOX needs to move inside the circle.
Well, I think right now FINTOX is in a good position because Team ESN is engaged with the FALLENangelz, and both these teams kind of overextended, trying to make sure that they finish the set and got knocked down. Now it's a three-man Team ESN up against a three-man FALLENangelz. They have this fight. See, this is going to give FINTOX enough time to move into the zone because that little cliff is going to give them enough cover. Pirate GX moves in with that. Ratatata gets 2 knocks. Vichu has gone down. He is the last man standing. Kirito, can he do something for his team? Pirate is going to go from the side, but he gets knocked out instead. Now it's all going to come down to Zoe because I think Bang OP is fallen as well. Now Zoe versus Pirate JX, and this is beautiful. Have a look at how FINTOX are coming up from behind, up high, and I'm pretty sure they are going to walk away with the chicken dinner unless Zoe can pull off a miracle. It's a 2v2 situation. Well, a 2v1 situation. Zoe picks his gun up, he aims, he shoots, but he is going to get eliminated, and with that, we have new winners as Team ESN. What a commendable effort by them, Thug. They are eliminated in the second position. But FINTOX, the team that was very smart, we mentioned that their IGLing was on point. The way they rotated in the last few circles, phenomenal. And with that, they won that chicken dinner. It was beautiful. Like I said, they knew the other teams were engaged. They moved around from up top and then shot them from up the hill. I mean, the true king of the hills. Wow.
I mean, like,
I'm sorry,
I think this was the best game of PMCO that we have seen.
Wow.
A game that went 5 ways, that could have gone 5 ways, and we were super confused. And what a classic game by Pirate JX. This guy impressed me a lot. And if we talk about Pirate JX, 9 kills, 1600 damage.
What?
Okay, is that just one guy? Okay, that's for a second I thought that's Team ESN, but then I realized no, they had 14 kills.
Is this a typo? That is amazing, Thug. 1,612 points of damage. This guy was just lighting up squad after squad. Now, again, Team ESN, we did mention earlier that they've shown us glimpses of brilliance, like I like saying, but they have really awoken. I think, how many kills did they have?
I think they have 14 kills. And the way JX moved in, he picked up 1 from Fallen. The second one, the last one, almost, he got the last one, but even though he did not have that cover fire as his teammates, was way behind, or else this game could have gone either ways. And yes, talking about the top 5 players, ESN players all around.
ESN players all around. Zoe's going to be in the second position with 5 kills to his name, 927 points of damage. Now, like I said, these boys moved in well. They grabbed that hill and they just rained down death in every single direction. Now, FINTOX playing well as well. Ryu coming up with 4 kills. 420 OP getting himself on the list now with 4 kills to his name and Ward. Now, that clash between BlitzkriegXP and Team X or XSpark was actually quite interesting. And at one point, they had about 2 members down a piece, so it could have gone either way. And Blitzkrieg, they were kind of showing that ferocity that we've come to expect from them, but well, Team X got the better of them. But what a game by FINTOX.
Definitely. Amazing. I mean, like, what a game by FINTOX. In fact, all the 3 teams that survived towards the very end, even we saw VR1 Dew stepping up for his team. I believe that it was a complete show coming up from all the 16 teams. Every team had their part to play. Talking about Matt Samari, 53 kills, 66 knocks, 243 smokes and nades, 11 headshots, 4 nade kills, and 2 airdrops looted. Aren't getting to see too much of vehicle kills, but I think that's fine because teams are trying to hold their ground while the zone, while allowing the zone to play its part.
Absolutely. And vehicle kills we usually see when hot drops are contested, right. But since we have 14 teams playing in any given game, I think you have a lot of options. So teams are not colliding with one another at the beginning, except in Primorsk, which is something that we saw in this game. But no action took place. I think they realized, hey man, there's a team over there, let's loot up and we'll fight them later on. But well, game 1 is done and dusted, and I guess the next one is going to be even more exciting.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, like, what a crazy game, and the way this entire game unfolded, I'm like super excited for what else we have to see in this day. Oh yes, and with those 16 kills, XP, 30 points, pushing them to the top, snatching the glory of FINTOX. And they are like, FINTOX, you want to third party us? Never mind, we got enough kills to make up for the 6 points. And they are sitting there right on top with 30 points. FINTOX, stellar show with 30 points as well. PointAngels, I can't deny that they played a really good game. I mean, like, they did a good job there. I thought that they could have done better. I mean, like, if they could have switched sides with ESN, if they would have come up with the right push at the right time, but not taking away credit. Also, VR1 Esports, decent gameplay, 12 points, but XSpark and Futurestation had the entire zone to themselves, yet they failed to capitalize. XSpark was caught a little bit outside the circle, but I believe XSpark needs to play more confidently. What I felt was lack of confidence, given the fact that they were trying to play the edges unlike what we saw them on day one or the opening week where they were trying to push into zone.
Absolutely, and I think we'll come to that in a second, because right now 9th position goes to BlitzkriegXP. Again, 4 kills. They got wiped out earlier than Team X. That is going to be detrimental to their overall points. And the first team to be eliminated, Nalayk. Again, Nalayk's drop points have to probably they have to go and think that over, because I've seen this happen way too often, that they're the first team to get eliminated, primarily because they like splitting up when they drop. And usually wherever they do drop, they have opposition right off the bat. But MCYS, they were in the best position in the last few circles, and the King of the Hills lost their throne. So again, kudos to Team ASN, who managed to wipe out 4 entire squads. So that is a message that they are sending across the field, that you know what, we are here. You better get up and take note of this, because there's some new kids in town.
Definitely. I mean, like the way these boys played it, the game, like every team had a different angle to this game, and I believe that we have some key takeaways from almost all the teams, apart from a couple which got wiped out early, given the fact that this game went down to the very last circle. We had 43 players alive in the 5th circle and 50 players, 13 teams alive in the 4th circle, which definitely shows how determined these teams are to ensure that they make it to the top 5 and get those skills required. I mean, like Group C coming into the scene changes this PMCO entirely. The way this group has been stacked, the way the teams have been lined up, believe me, Group C is gonna create a mess in PMCO and the PMPL to follow.
Group C, the group of chaos. That is what we're going to start calling them now. But again, wonderful outing by Group B yesterday, and it's just one game right now, right? So Group A and Group C, they're kind of testing each other out, and I'm pretty sure the teams have gauged each other up, and they might be getting ready for the next game. Which, Thug, could you let us know where the next game is going to be? Where are we flying to?
I'm thinking we are flying to Sanhok, and then we are gonna hop on to Miramar. So we are gonna fly to another map with uncertainty. However, even this map was very uncertain as well. I mean, like we did talk about FS trying to capitalize their position, but eventually it turned out to be FINTOX, who also have to get the credit, because they were pretty quick in taking that Rozhok. If you remember, we had this early discussion in this game where FS was holding the warehouse side, and then we had FINTOX holding the roadside, and then FINTOX went ahead and towards the squatters. I mean, like FINTOX did everything; it was pitch perfect. They decided to take control over the entire Rozhok, and by God's grace, they had the entire Rozhok to themselves towards the end.
I'm pretty sure that we've got to quickly go for a break, but I do have a point about FINTOX and the rotation. Now, they did move to that warehouse up top, but the problem is when the zone shifts away, unless you don't have vehicles stored at the back that you can come back around the bridge and then come in where FINTOX was, it's going to be tough coming down on foot along that cliff, because that is where you get spotted out, especially from that hill, and that is what we saw.
Right, and let's hop on to a quick break, because the action does not die off. We are gonna stay and see you guys after a quick short break.
Hello and welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2020 India Edition, Day 2 of the Semi-Finals. That is quite a mouthful. And of course, we're going to be underway with Match 2 in just a second. My name is Erangel. I go by The Experiment, and with me is Animesh Agarwal. You know him better as 8-Bit Thug. Thug, I think Sanhok is ready for everyone. What about you? Are you ready for this next game?
Yeah, definitely. I always look forward to Sanhok because it adds to the spice that we get. And the entire lineup of maps. I think the most spicy map, the map of uncertainty, like we call it.
It is a lot of RNG factor, and I think without further ado, shall we start flying over the beautiful tropical island, because I think the game is ready and rolling. And well, I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to see our faces. You want the game to be on your screens, and well, there we have it. The plane is going to be flying down south from Camp Charlie. We're going to be heading right over Mongai, and looks like we are Punk is getting some special treatment as he flies in his private jet, and he's already out this map. I mean, that guy is ambitious. He's already getting ready for the next game, Thug.
Yeah, I mean, like the way the way the flight path is and the way Sanhok looks, I mean, like we might get to see a very interesting game because generally I see majority of the teams, going towards a bigger island, and teams generally take drop towards that island, the biggest island of all three. But let's see how many teams in this particular grouping want to go and explore Camp Alpha or Hatin. I do see a couple of teams moving towards that, but I want to see if any team comes on boot camp. And look at the circle. Team XSpark have the circle for themselves. Like, I mean, like they're holding the exact center.
Yes, sir. And you know what they say, bigger is better, of course, especially in terms of, more space, more surface area to get more loot. That is exactly what I meant by that. But yes, a lot of teams are going to be in the zone right now. VR1 are going to be right to the north, as we've seen them quite often at Cow and Tatmok. They are going to split up again. Have a look at Nalayk's drop point. Now, they have split up in twos yet again, with Mafia and Dominator as one pair. Meanwhile, Dark God and VIP are going to be forming the second duo. Now again, it's a risky move, but luckily for them, there's not a lot of opposition in store for them. Only VR1 Punk to the northwest. Meanwhile, elsewhere, everyone is pretty comfortable. I think we might see some action on the northwestern island, where AZTECS, MCYS, and BXP have landed.
Yeah, I mean, like we might get to see a little bit of action depending upon what STALWART decides to do. If they decide to camp the bridge, we might get to see, we might get to see some kind of action going on. But right now, what I see is VR1, the four boys, Punk, Deuce, Skeleton, they somehow might have felt XV. I don't know. They might have felt that they missed a chicken or maybe a top 3 finish last game. What do you think?
I think that definitely could be a factor, and that factor might actually egg them on to perform even better. But overall, I think they had a good performance. Again, it was game 1, so you got to give them credit that, they might be warming up. Not warming up. I'm sure all the teams have come to this tournament today, 2 of the semi-finals warmed up, but just to test the waters, as I like saying. So I'm expecting a lot from this team, especially as far as consistency and domination goes. I think we'll see them in the top 5 in this game as well.
And यहाँ पे if we see FS going inside the caves, a very different approach altogether. A couple of players on the top of the ground, and and we have the boys from 50 as well going around Sami. Okay, so they have gone to the southwestern part, and they need to go for a long rotation. Even I know, like in Sanhok, the rotations are pretty much easy. Oh, and then we have a situation here between Team X
Oh.
and ESN, where 420 OP is caught. Yes, caught and spot, and Pirate JX picks him off. Pirate JX must be on a roll right now.
Definitely, they spotted him, they caught him, and now they laid him down on his knees. The question is, are they going to expect? I think I like the way they're still not just pushing in, because they are thinking, you know what, maybe there's going to be the enemy that's going to be coming down that hill opposite the road. Have a look at how ESN is playing so cautiously. I love it. They are the winners from the last game, and well, not the winners, I beg your pardon, but, you know, they definitely, well, they are the winners if you think about it as far as skills go, right? They did come out on top with that massive 16-kill game, but again, I love the fact that they're playing so cautiously, and, well, it's a big blow for XSpark as 420 OP bites the dust and is the first casualty of the game.
Yes, and 420 OP going down changes a lot of things for XSpark, because from my understanding, I don't know if we differ in our opinion, 420 OP holds the command for those entry frags. What I've seen is Aditya majorly trying to help with the cover fire, where he, you know, takes an angle and takes the enemy by surprise. But from my reading of the kill feed that generally involves Team X, what I've seen is 420 always getting that first knock from the opponent.
Well, I guess you are right to some extent, because he is the entry fragger, so to speak. But then again, I've seen one thing, that all the members of Team X are very versatile with their automatic rifles, their ARs, and those DMRs. They just love them. That's the combination I've seen most often, especially with an M4, an AK, you know, combined with a Mini 14 or even an SKS on occasion. So again, I like the fact that the roles are interchangeable, and I like the fact that, you know, it's all about teamwork. Like you said, that Aditya is the kind of guy who likes flanking, getting those angles. It is an uphill task, but well, he does it with aplomb. And right now on our screens, FALLENangelz seem to have all the control over the infamous boot camp, as MCYS seem to be scurrying away in a hurry.
Right, and MCYS trying to make their way inside the circle. They might just want to go for that hill, but yeah, looks like they're pretty much secured. Nice to see Dark opening that ADS, giving a safe passage to his teammates while he baits behind and, you know, tries to ensure his teammates are able to successfully cross into the circle safely. We still have one casualty only coming in the form of 420, but 14 teams, 55 players still alive. Too early in the game to see any kind of action generally from Sanhok.
I mean, that is, again, it's the PMCO. We've seen miracles happen, and we've seen the unexpected happen, right? So we definitely expect a lot of bloodshed. But again, I think that factor that, you know, there are 14 teams, that is kind of evident right now. It's actually pretty evident on our screens, because not a lot of teams are clashing. Usually you would at least expect a couple of teams to head down to boot camp. Have a look at Paradise Resort. I mean, Paradise Resort is unoccupied. That is, again, one of the most... I'm done. You know what? You go ahead and enjoy this, because whenever I play, I never get the AWM. But now in back-to-back games, my dear friend, we have an AWM. And let me tell you one thing. In Sanhok, ooh, I love this weapon. Close range sniping, it's just amazing. But I'm done. Go ahead.
I understand that, and also the you know what hurts even more, that teams are not actually gonna go and loot that airdrop, because generally what I've seen is that in Sanhok we see teams trying not to, you know, not too much bothered about the airdrops because of the loot availability. I mean, like in Sanhok, if you have an entire compound or an area to yourself, you generally end up with great loot. So, you know, airdrop does not really become a priority. But right now we have Team X now in a little bit of a backward position, given the fact that only 3 players survive and they have this huge hurdle of Sanhok right in front of them. FS needs to be careful. ESN, they look so confident. Look at the way they are playing. Look at the way they are placed. They have those trying to secure all the angles, trying to ensure none of the teams come too close, which might turn out to be problematic later on.
You know, I think I'm just going to come back to the airdrop. So in a game, on occasion, usually you have about 5 to 6 airdrops on average, right? Now, I think the producers are just messing with us, because they've only been showing us the AWM for quite some days. So if you're listening right now, guys, cut it out. But anyway, coming back to the game, yes, Futurestation, they are in a good position. And ESN, of course, the infamous squad house, or the infamous compound, in fact, east of the quarry, which is hotly contested property. They do have that on lockdown, which might help them later on in case the zone decides to move in their direction. Meanwhile, we have HEX ReaperX and, well, FINTOX on our screens right now, as they are heading to the west of the quarry. And I do believe, well, not the West really. They are heading towards the quarry right now. They might just have a clash with Team ESN really soon. And have a look at FALLENangelz as well. They are coming in as well. So we might have some action at the quarry pretty soon. But other than that, UP50 still down south at Camp Charlie. They don't have to worry about anything, right? They can come in as they please because pretty much the south part of the zone is uncontested.
Right, and looking at the way we are seeing the other teams trying to move in, we might get to see AZTECS versus VR1 though, but then it's very nice to see that a lot of teams aren't really sitting in the edges, taking a learning lesson from the last game. What I believed went wrong for majority of the teams that they did not try to enter Rozak earlier. Even like teams like XSpark, the teams that we expect to come out on top. This game, you can see, although they did have the circle center from the very beginning to themselves, but I think they must have taken note of the fact that the only wrong thing that went for XSpark last game was they did not have the zone to themselves. They were in a little bit of a pressure when they went against BlitzkriegXP. And right now we have Fallen going against FINTOX. FINTOX, the team that performed really well in the last game, might be in a little bit of trouble as Fallen have the height advantage, and we know Fallen Vishu leading his team from the front.
Absolutely, an explicit over here trying to get some grenades lobbed out in the enemy's direction, but that one was a little too short. He might readjust and throw another one. We're going to have to wait and find out. But yeah, this is another king of the hill situation. Very common in Sanhok. These high grounds, these high hills with all the rocks scattered around are hotly contested. And of course, you got to watch out for the snakes. But right now, FALLENangelz are going up against Hunt and the boys. And I like the way Vichu is actually leading the charge right now. But they've got to be careful because they are giving a lot of time for FINTOX, I beg your pardon, to kind of position themselves in a nice little concave circle of sorts as they can flank, but they can't because Team ESN are going to be laying down some lead from behind as Zoe gets a knock on FINTOX's Hunt.
Yes, and FINTOX now needs to be a little bit careful. Bloodfire has taken damage, but FALLENangelz decide to back off. Why do you think would that happen?
I think the thing is they realize that they're getting shot from this compound and they would be caught in the middle. So they're like, you know what, we're just going to withdraw ourselves a little bit and see
maybe
what it is.
Make a
they
better
might
angle.
Come around. They're going to on right now. Look at the screen on the left. They're going to swing around from the left and attack them, guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, they might have to go for a better angle because there's no reason FALLENangelz would want to back off. Rather, they might want to sandwich FINTOX and try to ensure that they take a couple of kills away from this so-called sandwich situation that we might get to see. But right now, FINTOX also seems to have taken control of the situation with the smokes coming out. Another smoke coming off from the player to allow you to back off. AZTECS got outside the circle. They still have a minute to cover up those 400 meters and get inside the zone. Talk about AZTECS. They don't have a bad lineup, but somehow they haven't been able to perform up to the mark. From your understanding, it's the 5th game that AZTECS are playing. What do you think exactly is going wrong for AZTECS?
Well, I think you're going to get bored of me saying the same thing again and again. I think morale and confidence is a big thing because they are playing up against big names right now, and I've seen a little bit of hesitancy coming from their part. Now they have really shined; they've really shown brightly at times as well. So I guess they just need to find some time to get in the groove and especially synchronize with each other and get that synergy for the team. But coming back to the game, FALLENangelz, in fact, they did not attack FINTOX when I thought they would because of the circle. They are going to plan to move further in, and it looks like they might be on a collision course with XSpark, who are just west of Barn. They do have that dual compound on either side of the road, which is again a good position to be in, but you have a hill on one side, and as we all know, shooting from up top can be a lot easier. So I wonder if we're going to see some action over there. Meanwhile, to the north, AZTECS and VR1 are kind of disengaging, but we might see some sparks fly soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, VR1 has entered the circle and taken control. Meanwhile, we're also getting to see FINTOX getting picked off, and I think that's MVP trying to pick a player off. Now, since VR1 has the position inside the circle, they might just want to gatekeep for the remaining two teams trying to enter. FINTOX looks in a lot of trouble with MVP going ham with their M3X spray, especially Spurs OP and his teammate Prashant, both of them trying to pin FINTOX, but FINTOX decides to get away since they realize that they're also not in a very viable position inside the circle that they can give much time and effort to this particular fight.
See, and during all this time, Team ESN, if you still remember, they are still holding their compound, which is going to be a focal point of action probably in about a minute or two, as a couple of teams are converging in that direction. Of course, Futurestation is coming in from the north and FINTOX from the south, along with UP50, who currently, last we saw them, they were in the south of the zone. But wait a second, over here, VR1 are picking a fight with AZTECS, and I think Dark Lord is going to be taken out of his misery. Pradhan is very low on HP as well, but Satan is going to go down via Skeleton, and VR1 suddenly are turning the tables against the attackers. AZTECS, they do have to move in the circle, so it is a good spot for VR1. Now, Mighty's in a good spot, as he can actually rotate on the left flank from VR1's point of view, and can actually, ooh, this could be good. If he gets a knock over here, he can move in, go up that mountain, and go a bit right at the house, and then lay down some lead in Deuce and Punk's direction. Now, Skeleton could actually see him off, but he does deploy that smoke grenade. Satan could be picked up, but let's see if Mighty and his mighty AK can do some damage over here.
Looking at the way AZTECS approached this circle, obviously they knew that VR1 was there. They did have a sort of a minute engagement early in the game. I mean, like, I am a little bit the rotation that AZTECS took is a little bit questionable for me, because they must have, I mean, like, it's a very normal understanding that a team that has went into a circle first will try to gatekeep, and here comes a pretty good nade, but falls a little bit away. But Mighty coming up with a good spray, getting some cover fire, but then AZTECS goes down. First team to be eliminated, AZTECS EHP, and it's sad to see AZTECS performing that ways. And VR1 are now switching on to the second target. Like I said, XP, a perfect gatekeeping done by VR1.
Absolutely, and well, their woes are not over yet, because another team in the form of BlitzkriegXP are moving in. Now, talking about that rotation by AZTECS earlier on, they did land on the northwest island, if you remember, near Hartin, and they started moving east. They thought it would be a good idea to go north of Tatmok. They thought it would be uninhabited, but little did know that VR1, in fact, dropped over there, and they, again, that perfect position. They were at the right place at the right time, and well, they paid the price. But right now, they are again at the right place at the right time, as they get a knock on BXP's Bolt as he goes down, and Sakria, Mad Dog, and Naughty Boy have their work cut out for them. Now, they do have a few options, mind you, because a couple of them are already in the zone, but the problem is they are exposed. Meanwhile, FINTOX's Hunt is going to fall to his death, which is going to lead to the elimination of his team in the 13th position.
Yes, and look at the circle, a big southward shift, and I guess apart from a couple of teams, none of the other teams would be disappointed by the circle, because every team seems to be well placed inside the circle. And look at the position, LF somehow got the circle, look at the first circle, LF shouldn't have been inside the circle, holding Lakavi since the very beginning, but by God's grace and the zone gods are pretty much merciful on LF, giving them the entire circle. And I think they have a good spot, and we might get to see LF making it until the very end. But what about XSpark and Fallen? XSpark obviously had the early loss of their player 420 OP, the entry Fragger. Now they're down to 3-man, and they have Fallen in front of them. Not a bad side and not an easy side to go against. I guess XSpark does have a height advantage. They might just want to go for that early pick, or they might just want to hold, given the fact that they're towards the edge of the circle and not really sent in if they engage any further, because the third circle is already rotating, and I think they have a minute or half before the next circle kicks in.
You know, while you were saying that, of course, I mentioned something. Have a look at how FALLENangelz, they all came to that southern house. Although that compound is still in the zone, they realized that they have enemies on that northeastern hill. So what they were doing right now, as you were talking, I was having a look at the mini-map. All their vision was down south. And remember, we had a team down south earlier in the form of Team ESN and UP50. Now, UP50 have moved out, and they're still having a look. Now, Destro has spotted them. Now, that's a little bit of a dangerous move by them, because they are moving out in the open fields over there. They are really close to where they want to go, especially as far as Kirito and his teammate are concerned. They have made it, but I do believe Clutcher is going to make it as well. It's a smart move, but then again, it can be a problem for them, because from the south, Team ESN is going to be marching up north, and FALLENangelz could be in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, and I see FALLENangelz, I think Fallen Bloodfire going down, and I think Fallen could be in a third party situation, depending upon how FS and Team X react to the shots and the kill feed. And the circle somehow in favor of Team X as well. FS once again have the circle to themselves. MVP approaching the circle from the south. VR1 trying to play the edges and would want to make their way into the circle. But once again, we are taking this game until the very end. Quite uncertain, could go anyone's way, but HEX, if you see, they're the only HEX and MVP. They have two big compounds inside the circle. Depends on how they're able to capitalize this.
Now, if you saw what I just saw, Team X, they are out in the zone. I think they might go out of the blue because they know that their work is cut out as far as moving into the zone is concerned. Because Barn and that hill around it is going to be hotly contested, especially with Futurestation firmly planted at the top. Now they know the south is exposed with FALLENangelz, and now this is exciting. FALLENangelz are in close proximity to Team ESN, and Pirate JX, the man of the moment from last game, the guy who had 1,612 points of damage, can be detrimental to FALLENangelz. Advances over here as they do take a few shots from either direction. Now Team ESN has finally been caught out, and he gets knocked out courtesy of Somraj's QBZ. Now the QBU, I beg your pardon, but they've got to be careful because MVP are pushing in as well. Well, actually MVP, they kind of have that compound further up north, so they are in a good position. This fight is going to be between FALLENangelz, UP50, and well, let's have a look if Team ESN are going to block them because have a look at the zone right now. Both teams, Thug, are outside the circle, with ESN now having the advantage of gatekeeping.
Yeah, I mean,
The tables have turned completely.
yeah, I think the fight is happening between ESN, MVP, and FALLEN50 because I don't see MVP, UP50 because I'm not seeing the map fit right now, but I cannot figure out where UP50 exactly is right now. But that was some good spotting from Kerito. If you see the way Kerito picked the guy from ESN off and went inside the circle, and now they're moving inside the circle even further. I think they did have a very good opening, and this looks like a 5-way fight with a lot of teams from the north who must be taking notes of what's going south of them, because obviously it's Sanhok fourth circle. Everyone is hearing every gunshot, and they're definitely able to relate what's going on with the kill feed.
But FALLENangelz, they are moving in. Guns blaze. Ooh, Vichu gets a knock on Wang. OP. Now Zoe's going to be in a good position to lay down some cover fire. But is he going to be able to do so? Let's have a look and find out. Zoe does go down courtesy of FALLENangelz. And I think that's it. Ghasti has gone down as well. Team ESN, they were in such a good position. However, they have been wiped out with one man remaining. That is Pirate JX. Elsewhere, we are picking a fight and finding Nalayk on our screens right now towards the bottom right. And they are survived by one last member. Can Dark God lay some punishment on MCYS? Well, he does get a knock on Dark. Meanwhile, Carrito is going to be lobbing some grenades and then passing himself. That was a good job over here because, I thought Team ESN would stop them. However, it was the opposite way. Elsewhere, people are falling to the blaze zone as VR1 have come under heavy fire courtesy of BlitzkriegXP.
Yes, and looking at the way Zark, Rambo, Ignite, MCYS is trying to move in, Nalayk once again, XP get eliminated. They need to do some little bit of more work before they can get rid of that meaning attached to their name. But right now, VR1, the next team, coming in by surprise, 8 kills. VR1 just got eliminated at the 10th spot with taking 8 kills. Good stuff from them. Definitely not. They would not be disappointed by the way they performed. But let's talk about FALLENangelz. These boys have been showing us a different game altogether. The way they move in and look at Pirate X picking foil clutches and wiping him out instantly. I think Kerito might just be able to spot Pirate X. Look at Pirate JX. One of the players to look out for, definitely.
Definitely one of the players to look out for, and he's not stopping a one-man army, so to speak. He is obliterating that team over here. Elsewhere, Zark from MCYS is picking a fight. They've got 3 kills to their name. They are going up against HEX ReaperX. They come out that Uzi is being shot, and, he switches his weapon to the QBZ. He is probably going to rush in. That revive coming in courtesy of Phoenix. He reloads his weapon. He lobs a Molotov. Is it going to be good enough? That is a good Molotov, and it looks like Zern might be on fire, but he isn't. He does get taken down courtesy of Dark, however. Now Phoenix and Carrito are in a good spot. Carrito can lay down some lead. He does. Gets a knock, but he's going to patch himself up because the blue zone is going to do a lot of damage. He's lost all hope for his teammates, but the question is he going to go in for the kill as Ignite is laying in wait for the enemy. Here he comes. He's going to jump. Is he going to jump? He doesn't. He goes in, gets the knock, and well, there we have it. MCYS out in the 8th position with 4 kills.
But great stuff coming in from Kirito. Went back, healed himself up, came again and took the fight. Proper presence of mind. And here we have Somraj overpicking a bit, but an excellent pick coming out from Blitzkrieg, Frag, OP, and Bob, the 2 surviving guys. FS needs to capitalize the game, but let's talk about UP50 making it to until the very end with 4 people still alive and 3 points to their name. FALLENangelz still kicking somehow, and Lord Fam also definitely had the entire circle for that. Punjabi on straight up on the hill with UP50, the entire brigade charging towards LF Punjab. It all comes down to how well LF, the remaining 3 players from LF are able to support Punjabi leading the team from the front.
You know, as far as Lord Farm are concerned, again, they're a good versatile team. They
Right.
can hold their position, but they sometimes leave it a bit too late. I wonder if that's going to happen now. But Frag, OP on our screens trying to pick out the teams, and they have the edge of the zone. And he's going to make sure that he smokes up for his teammates that they can come in safely. But Fallen Vichu is going to fall to Mayur for the win, and with that, FALLENangelz are going to be eliminated in the 6th position with 4 kills. So their name Punjabi senses that UP50 are making a move. Mamu goes down courtesy of Mayur, but is he going to come in and steal the kill? Yes, he does. And UP50 are getting shot at from every single direction. And with that, they are eliminated in the 5th position. 3 kills to their names. We are down to the last 4 teams, possibly the last 3, because people are falling like dominoes at every angle. And have a look at how MVP are just gunning down the enemies as they try to make their way up the hill.
Right, and looking at the way the last 4 teams are faring, LF trying to move in. They have only 2 players. I don't think they can help the remaining 2 players, and they might just go down Mamba and Lord. But Punjabi also might just get spotted, and yes, he does. MVP Tango takes him down. MVP Spush might just want to heal themselves, but Blitzkrieg and FS out of nowhere were in a lot of trouble, played it slow, played it passive, and made to the end. And here FS just needs to ensure that they don't goof this up and they convert this into a chicken dinner. They missed the chicken dinner last game because they had the entire zone to their drop spot. But in this, FS did try to make their way to the top. 4v1 situation. Blitzkrieg Sakriya trying to hold for his team. I think he just needs to play it very low and cool.
Well, against all odds, Team INGL, or the MVPs, as they like calling themselves, have made it to the end. In fact, they are firing at Pokar, and Pokar is going to go down 4-man squad up against a 4-man Futurestation. Now, Sakriya, like you said, he needs to be quiet. But again, he's going to have to make a move. He is in the zone, if I'm not mistaken. I see him on our screens right now. He's going to make it in without any issues, but he does get spotted and taken out with that Blitzkrieg out in the 3rd position. 5 kills, not a bad outing, but now we are down to MVP versus Futurestation. Both teams have 1 man down. The zone is moving in. Stormbar's getting that knock. Ooh, he doesn't. Mayur is going to survive. And is it going to be? He gets the knock. What? On such low HP, Mayur for the win gets the knock. He's going to be taken down by Pokar in turn, which means it's going to be a 1-on-1 situation. Or is it a 1-on-2? I think it's a 1-on-2 situation. Pokar has his work cut out for them as Tango is going to make sure that he lays down lead in his direction. Thug, who is going to come out on top? It's pretty inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Tango has advantage, but screw that advantage, and that's I think it's the opponent team which got the chicken dinner, because I think Tango did go down, MVP did go down, if I am not wrong.
I do believe Futurestation went out right now, right? So I think MVP are the winners for this game. The winner chicken dinner does go to the guys who have the MVP as a prefix, and looks like it finally worked out because they are the winners. And of course, it is Team INGL. Now, like I said, it was unprecedented for them to survive as a 4-man squad right till the end. But Futurestation, they left it a little bit too late, and that little exchange over there, Pokar really couldn't do a lot at the end, and the blue zone was chomping at their feet as well. But I think a well-deserved victory over here.
Yeah, I mean, like, MVP did a great job, especially in spotting one of that players behind the tree. But what a game by MVP overall, making their way inside the circle, holding up their nerves towards the very end, going 4v4 against a team like Futurestation and getting that win. Of course, MVP Mayur, we discussed about this guy at the very beginning of this of our discussion, and stepping up and making a sprout. 5 kills, 602 damage, good distance covered compared to Sanhok being a small map.
I think it's finally paid off for this team, huh? That, you know, they're like, hey, why do you call yourselves the MVP? They can take a screenshot and now they can post this all over the social media. He's like, this is why we are the most valuable players. They should do that. If I was in your shoes, Mayur, I would definitely do that. But a good game against Sanhok. Oh, the unpredictability, because we thought that one team would have it, then we thought the other team would have it. But that's the thing, like you said, in the 4th to 5th circle, you fire a shot, everyone and their mothers are going to hear it in like a kilometer radius.
That's what I was saying. You know, when at the beginning of that game, when Fallen was trying to move up, I said, like, it could go 5-way, because every team hears the shots that are taking place in Sanhok, for it being a small map. But top 5 players, MVP, Mayur, FTW obviously leading the charge, with Kirito, Skeleton, Pirate JX, and Vishu trailing.
I like the fact that Team ESN are still like we saw this yesterday also, right? That I said that if they go aggressive, these guys can actually do a lot, and they went all out aggressive, and they're doing the same today, and it's paying off for them. HEX ReaperX finally showcasing that they have some guts and grit as well, as they came out guns ablaze and did a decent job finishing this game as well. But again, I like the fact that all these teams are now getting comfortable in their skin, and they are like, you know what? We can take these boys on, because again we saw Team X getting eliminated early on, and the only big boys who stayed till the end were Futurestation, and there we have it, Team INGL with their chicken dinner, 9 kills, 29 points in hand.
Great game by INGL. I think the only team apart from VR1 that were able to dominate in the department of kills. 9 kills, 29 points. Definitely gonna push them straight up into the points table towards the top 8, top 7. Futurestation trying to maintain that consistency they got in the game 1, and BlitzkriegXP finally making it their way into the top 3. Interesting game altogether, but I'm definitely worried about a team that's appearing on our second page, XSpark. XSpark is not having a good day, XP.
Well, I guess they have kind of that break kind of halted their progress, and maybe we might see something later on. Again, they don't have a lot of matches in hand, and they've got to act quick. But let's see what they bring to the table. Of course, they didn't really go down in a fight this game around. They were kind of caught off guard. Not caught off guard. Their rotations led them to the enemy, and they couldn't win that battle. That is what happened. It's not about getting caught off guard, but they did put up a good gunfight in the first game. So that kind of tells me that the skills are obviously not lacking, as I'm sure everyone is aware. But again, Sanhok, the RNG factor, and way too many enemies. I guess they need to play a little slower from now on forward.
Right, and talking about the match summary for the Sanhok game of Sanhok, 95 smokes and nades. Interesting, as we don't really get to see too much of utilities being used. No grenade kills. This is surprising because Sanhok is a lot about grenades, given the fact that there are so many hills that you need to climb, so many hills that you need to come down from, and total kills 47, 50 FINTOX, 10 headshots. Decent numbers coming from Sanhok. I guess we don't expect more in any sense coming out of Sanhok. Airdrops are a rare sight. People don't really tend to loot airdrops, given the fact that you don't really get those guns which you need in other maps.
Well, I would still take an AWM, and it was up for grabs. Nobody took it. It's their fault. But, talking about the smokes and grenades lobbed in this game, Sanhok is a map that you don't really need a lot of smoke cover, because you have so many thickets and bushes around. So that is why that number is low. All the bullets did all the talking. But it's going to be quite different in the next game. And before that, let's just have a look at the overall standings as we have a look at the leaderboard. Futurestation have overtaken Team Insane, and now they are going to be up top with 77 points. Of course, they do have 2 games extra that they have played. Team Insane have 2 games in hand. FINTOX moving up in the 3rd position with 65 points. VR1, they could do a lot better. They are still in the 4th position with 58. And, well, a few teams are moving up, but remember, Group B isn't playing today. So I think we're going to have basically an overall picture tomorrow once all the teams have played 8 games.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the way we are reckoning, sitting at 4th, still sitting at the 9th spot with those 4 games. And I mean, I'm not worried about the teams that have had 2 games and 4 games. I'm worried about those teams those have had 6 games. And if they are still, if they aren't able to make it to the top 16, which from my angle, I think all the teams are into the top 10. But teams like BlitzkriegXP, FALLENangelz, they need to just work on their average. But yes, Nalayk is the team that I'm definitely worried about. They have 2 more games to go. They make it, or I think top 16 makes it to the finals, if I'm not wrong.
That is correct. And well, Nalayk now, again, all jokes aside, they need to work on a lot of aspects, so to speak, because again, everybody can point a gun, aim a gun, and pull the trigger and shoot and knock a person down. But what they are lacking in right now, again, I think it's about confidence and experience. I'm pretty sure we're going to see this group of boys in the scrims later on. The domestic circuit, we have a lot of scrims, and it's a good platform. It's a good chance for all these teams to, be like, hey, take note of us, because we are going to be punching with the big boys soon enough. And well, they have had the opportunity. I guess they need to make the best of this opportunity now and take something away from it, and hopefully come back stronger and better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, still they have made it here playing fairly. The biggest playing it fair and playing it clean. That's the biggest point when you make it to PMCO. So even if if the journey ends for a couple of teams today, because I think it's the last day we are seeing Group A fight it out. So they have the only chance, and there's only one team, Nalayk, that's that might have trouble making it to the top 16. But I guess that's how it is. For every team that wins it, a team loses it. So we might have to say goodbyes to 5 teams tomorrow. I guess tomorrow. I guess we have a break.
We do have a break after. Well, it's going to be day after, but again,
Yeah,
tomorrow, the
the
next day
next
of
day, the
action, we'll
next day.
definitely be saying a goodbye to people. But you win some, you lose some, and win, draw or lose. The thing is, you got to keep going. Now, if a loss is going to bring you down,
Right.
well, then you weren't really mentally strong to begin with. So I think we've said this a lot. Now we can say this, ladies and gentlemen watching, because we've been in those shoes, and we are old men. Not really. 30 is like the new 15 anyway,
Yeah.
or the 15, 18. But anyway, the thing is, we've been on either side, and I'm telling you, mental acuity is very important. So if you want to be good, you got to be calm, composed, and be cool under pressure.
Yup, and let's go for a quick break so that these boys get a break as well. They can come back calm, cool, and with a lot of composure, like XP said. So we'll see you after a quick short break. Stay tuned, guys.
Hello and welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2020 Indian Edition Semi-Finals Day 2 Game 3. That is quite a mouthful. I love that. My name is Angan Singh Chahal. I go by the Experiment, and with me is 8-bit Thug or Animesh Agarwal. Animesh, 2 games down, and we've seen quite a good amount of action. What do you expect in the third game in Miramar?
I mean, like I'm expecting a way more slower game. I mean, like we've already seen 2 games, very action-packed. But what I'm expecting, especially given the fact that there are just 14 teams in the lobby, we might get to see a very slow game. And I will try not to doze off as this map rolls in.
Well, we're going to try and make sure that you do not doze off. I'm going to keep constantly talking as we have a look at our flight path, which is going to be from Torre Ahumada. We're going to go all the way down to Porto Paraiso. And I love this map because it kind of, gives us a chance to brush up on our Espanol a little bit as well. That is, of course, a beautiful language that one should give a shot. But anyway, the teams are falling out the plane, and it looks like FINTOX are going to be heading to their position at Campo Militar and Tierra Bronca as the other teams are heading in the opposite direction. Fallen seem to be heading towards La Cabrera, so that is pretty exciting. UP50 have an interesting drop as well, as they are going split up pretty much north and south of the water treatment plant. I wonder if they're going to touch Hacienda del Patron.
I mean, like, we'll have to see, because this flight path, as we move towards the southern part, like you said, Hacienda del Patron is reachable, and I think a little even more towards the left. But the flight path and the circle, too contradictory, too opposite to each other. I mean, like, XP, this is gonna be a difficult map.
I like it. It is going to be difficult because all the teams they dropped off early. They're going to have those long migrations towards the circle. And by the look of things, Team ESN, Futurestation, and even a couple of other teams like, VR1 is also in a good position to potentially gatekeep them, especially if Futurestation kind of move a bit towards the west, towards Monte Nuevo. Let's have a look and see if that happens. Meanwhile, Picado is going to be firmly under the control of MCYS. So expect a lot of good loot from that end. I like the fact that HEX ReaperX are heading down further south. Let's see where they end up, especially since they now have an idea of where the zone is. So, they want to try and make sure they capitalize on that situation, as is Team X, I do believe. They are dropping west of Los Leones, but we just might see them in Chumacera soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, like the way teams are operating, I'm still not able to figure out where these teams actually want to go, because we know teams face a lot of trouble getting in those vehicles, and then obviously the terrain as well for Miramar is very difficult to get this rotation in. HEX right now looks vehicle-less. Looks, by the looks of it, I guess Team 16, that's Team X, just stole them of their vehicles, or is Team 6X still gliding? Okay, Team X is still in their parachutes and they are just gliding to their spot.
If he gets a long-range weapon, he can get a major upset on Team X. If he has an idea, I think he probably saw the shoots land in front of him. He does find a shotgun, but that is not going to be good at range, and a pistol is also not going to cut it. So I guess he's going to be content that at least, in case those boys decide to move in on his location, he can kind of defend his howl. But on our screens right now, Team ESN, and these guys are going to be looting blissfully in San Martin. Elsewhere, Hacienda del Patron is going to be under cover of Lord Fam. So we might see some sparks fly over here soon enough. But I wonder where the action is going to break out. Of course, we're going to try and make sure that you do not fall asleep. Of course, this map has that effect.
I mean, like,
I get it. It has that effect.
No, I'm looking at the way you're enjoying the Hacienda del Petrona.
I love it. I love it.
Like,
you can see my face.
Actually, that's what I was seeing. I was seeing when you said Hacienda del Petrona, and I was like, okay, XP is getting into, that feel. But here we have Blitzkrieg, Naughty Boy. Why would someone keep their name Naughty Boy? I mean, like, that's it's so weird.
Because he's a naughty boy, and it could be. He is.
I mean, like, these guys are just 18. How?
I mean, like, see, we live in India, and the youth over here is very ambitious, and we have a lot of exposure from a lot of different areas. So, it's good. It's good that we've come in the 21st century, and we can do all this now. But again, quite an interesting name. It might get him into trouble, or he might just be a naughty kid. We'll have to ask his mother about that later on, how he was growing up. But I think he is doing good in this game so far. But I want to see BlitzkriegXP do a little better, because we keep using words like veteran. I mean, Mad Dog has been at the helm of this game right from the beginning, Thug. Maybe that experience is not being reciprocated enough. Maybe it's not being communicated enough. What do you think is happening in that team specifically?
I believe that, I think it's all about getting that momentum. The team has not been able to get a kickstart. What I believe every team, like let's talk about ESN. Okay, this particular team, Pirate JX. When they
They're on
played,
fire.
yeah, they're on fire, and the reason for that fire is it's not an ESN the game and the skill set that they have changed overnight. It's just that in game one they got an excellent start and they just continued their tempo in day two. We did not see ESN play so well entering into the tournament at the very beginning of PMCO. It's just about that momentum. I mean, like, momentum does a lot of things in this tournament. I mean, like in PUBG Mobile especially, when you're playing a quick elimination format, like PMC is not dead fast stretch. After there's a 3-day sin and then the points reset and then another 3-day kicks in, 4 days kick in. So, I mean, like when we have fast eliminations going on, you don't get time to set your momentum. You need to have that, set a long-term momentum. You need to have that fire, that spark that keeps you running in a single day. Like, I mean, like if you have 4 good games, that's it. It's good enough to make you get you to the top. Because we are not seeing a 20-game journey or a 50-game journey. I mean, the tournament is a longer format, but then the points get reset after every interval.
True, and you've got to be firing on all cylinders at all times. That is basically what you're saying. As Ignite picks up one of my favorite weapons in the game, the beautiful M24, and I wonder if he's going to put it to good use. But we did have a look at the circle just a little earlier, and it seems like Team X have taken over Chumacera. That is something that, any good IGL would do. And of course, I've had the pleasure of playing with Evo in a team, so I kind of can, get in the minds of the mindsets of what the boys are going to be doing. But on our screens right now, MVP. Now, these guys, again, they have really impressed me. In fact, they did impress me on day 2 as well, but they have been pretty dormant. But they definitely woke up in the last game, getting that chicken dinner. And I'm excited to see what they bring to the table in this game as they make their way to the zone. They are already in the zone, but I'm pretty sure they want a more central position.
Right, and looking the way we have fallen here, Team FALLENangelz, they're having a good run this PMCO. I mean, like, the boys must be definitely proud. Out of nowhere, they are trying to put up a good fight against the big elites, the limited big elites that they're getting to face in PMCO. Blitzkrieg after last game, I mean, like, there's a lot of spotlight on Blitzkrieg this game. Are we getting to see some Blitzkrieg? Will Blitzkrieg be able to perform according to the attention that they are getting by our observers?
I can't really speak for the other members, but as far as Mad Dog and Volt go, I know that Miramar is one of their stronger maps, especially since the boys do like engaging at distance. And, well, they do have 4 vehicles, so they're going to try and get a high spot somewhere. And preferably towards the center of the map, but that is not what they're doing. Now they're going for those high spots at the edge of the circle, which can be detrimental later on as they try and make their way downhill if and when the circle moves away. Because have a look at El Pozo right now. We have Futurestation firmly planted over there. BXP are going to get that high ground, the high mountains in between Futurestation and Team ESN. Now, it's not an immediate threat, but it is going to be an issue as they move in further. And right now, they should probably be heading towards Monte Nuevo and capitalizing on one of the buildings over there. That is what I would do if I was in their situation. But have a look at what's happening to the north. FALLENangelz, UP50, and FINTOX are all trying to make their way to the zone, with FALLENangelz adapting a rather curious strategy. They are driving along the road out of the blue. They're going to come west of El Pozo. But the question is, are they going to tango with Futurestation in El Pozo, or are they going to keep driving south, possibly towards Valle del Mar?
I mean, like, I would like to question all the teams that are right now outside the circle, and also rightly pointed out by you, FS and BXB. FS had their drop, but Blitzkrieg should have gone for a little bit even earlier rotation. And like you said, Montenuevo is the best place. Just we talked about the entry and exit point for Rozhok. Montenuevo could be that critical anchor point in this game. Yes, if any team holds that 4-way crossing that you see just to the south of Montenuevo, there's a quick compound. If any team holds that, I think that team might be able to anchor this game according to their whims and fancies.
That could be one of the hotly contested crossroads indeed. And that weapon in the airdrop is something that is amazing as well. The Grotza, I mean, at close range, it can shred you. It can just cut through you like, I've said this before, like a hot knife through butter. Now, just visualize that. Put a hot knife through butter and you'll see exactly what I mean. That's how easy it is to decimate your opponents. But Nalayk, now these boys, they have another best of outings. Of course, they are at the bottom of the table with 6 games already played, this being their 7th. I think for the best thing for them should be that, take it as a learning experience. Take something from this thing, because I have been in that position as well. I've been in the finals and I've been dead lost. And let me tell you one thing, it kind of stings at the beginning, but once you accept it and once you're like, all right, you know what, we need to work on ourselves, the only way is up, and that is what those boys should be focusing on. Meanwhile, Team X seem to be in a... Oh, that is a beautiful grenade! Had it been on the outside of that vehicle, Zoc would definitely have been knocked out.
I haven't seen a nade put into that accuracy. Like the way that nade came in, and it was not an easy nade to pull off. It was so, like, Zark was trapped. That nade fell just behind Zark, forcing him to move sideways, and he actually had no weight out. And look at the way LF is trying to move in, and now MCYS Zark could be in a lot of trouble.
And did you just see that Ignite use that M24, got a headshot on Evo. So now this might actually give them a little bit of a chance to kind of move in. And 420 OP, I gotta think you're in the open. What is he trying to do? He is deploying some smoke grenades, but he is way far ahead if the other team decided to attack. But looks like MCYS are holding back, and they might just pull back a little bit. They could have actually got another kill. But again, see, that's where that thing comes in. They knew that they took out a member of XSpark, and then they're up against a high caliber team. Now that could be one of the factors they haven't pushed in.
Yes, and now looking at the way MCYS and Team X are stationed, MCYS and Team X, I think both our teams are going to disengage because Team XSpark is too far off to actually move inside and commit to this fight. MCYS 2 seems like they are backing off, trying to get hold of that compound back, leaving one player at the hilltop being the vision or, the pro eye for their team.
Yes, sir. And coming back to FALLENangelz, have a look at them on the extreme left of your maps towards the western edge. They are, in fact, driving down that beautiful long road. They're going to come down to Valle del Mar, and they're going to make that their home, probably on the eastern aspect, just near Minas del Valle. And, Juma Serra is now hotly contested as Team X find themselves in between a little bit of a pickle with MCYS at one end and the AZTECS at the other. Now, this could be interesting. If they start getting shot at in unison, they could be in trouble. But I'm still surprised to see VR1 still out in the blue. They are hot on the heels of Nalayk, and we might see some action over there as well.
Yes, and looking at the way we have Team X and MCYS station, and also meanwhile Mamba LF, I think XP, you're finally getting what you wanted to see. A lot of sniper shots coming in, a lot of good shots coming in. I see a lot of headshots getting connected. ESN could be in trouble, but I think they are too far off for LF to push or ESN to be at any kind of trouble. But I don't see a reason why ESN would want to take a peek when they realize that the opponent is not pushing. And Mamba are trying to take some another peek or maybe another shot. But I don't see that happening. They need to move inside the circle, 40 seconds, and they have 1200 meters to cover.
Quite opposite to the Mamba that we know, because this one is using a Car 98. I'm just kidding, of course. Mamba can also do a lot of damage with the sniper rifle, but the best thing is, well, not the best thing, like, you can kind of see me right now, right? And the viewers cannot. The moment I saw that shot, I had such an evil grin on my face. And, it was just like, I'm glad that I don't have a camera on me, but that was just beautiful. But coming back to the game, the circle has shifted further down south, and Juma Serra is still going to be in contention as Fallen Vichu tries to get a few shots on Futurestation, but it seems like he just wasted 2 magazines as none of them connected. Did do a little bit damage to the vehicle, but it's going to be enough for the team to make it to the safe zone. Elsewhere, LF are on a nice drive out as well, and I can't really blame them. It's good weather, the sun's out, and it's not as hot as you think. But elsewhere, it is going to be hot for Nalayk as Dark God gets taken down by AZTECS Pradhan as his teammates are frantically trying to reciprocate themselves.
Right, and looking at the way Nalayks are trying to stop AZTECS from pushing in, I'm not really sure if AZTECS would actually want to come in. Like you said, XP, they are unable to play freely. We are not getting to see a team playing with an open broad mind and confident gameplay. We have a nade being lobbed by Dark Lord, and it's a nade so that he gets an opportunity to fall back. I mean, like, but Pradhan is somewhat trying to comment. I mean, like, they're a decent side. They are Mighty Pradhan and Dark Lord, and which are decently good enough players. Here we have some shots coming from Pradhan. They're finally committing. Let's see how this fight turns out to be.
I like the fact they're going in first-person perspective. They are in for the kill. Satan is going to be the first man over the bridge. He's got to be careful because Mafia can be in a wonderful position to lay down some lead in his direction. VIP with that grenade. If it is timed to perfection, that can be devastating. It does do a lot of damage on Satan and Dark Lord. They are going to have to be on the back foot as Dominator gets a knock off his own. This is going to give VIP a chance to head over on the right flank and probably pop up for a couple of lucky shots. Dominator gets a kill. Dark Lord has been, well, it's not a kill, it's another knock. He gets knocked down again. Now they are going to move in. VIP up against Pradhan. Pradhan gets the first knock on VIP. He's going to go up against Dominator. Wait a second. Mighty comes in and gets the knock on Dominator, dominating his opponent. And with that, AZTECS against all odds are still whole. But wait a second. Team X comes in from behind and they're like, you know what? You thought you were safe, but now you have to deal with this. Team X, can they wipe out both squads and get the momentum rolling, Thug?
Right, and here we have Team X trying to pick up ace.
Wow!
And 420 OP once again coming up with those nades. Look at 420 OP. Look at the way he's performing, and he picks off Pardhan straight up. And I think that was just nades coming in from Team X. And did he just take 2 kills of that nade? And another shot. Look at that shot accuracy using the AKM trying to pick off players. But somehow surprised. But we still have Nalayk looking strong towards the right. 420. Team X needs to be a little bit cautious about their positioning. You don't need to overextend, I mean.
They don't need to overextend at all. And, you know, I was just thinking that, you know, Mortal is synonymous with boom bam, right? I guess he needs to move aside because 420 OP is coming in for that title because he just boomed and bammed his opponents out of there. And I guess that confidence is going to be riding because Aztec Mighty is going to be the last man standing. They thought they had everything in their favor. They were happy with that team. Why? But it is a short-lived victory as he's going to have to move out elsewhere. BXP under fire as they come to the play zone along with UP50. Now, that fight did take place outside the zone, so of course the blue zone is going to be coming in and taking all those kills. Now the new zone has shifted to the northeast. We are still east of Chumasera with a few compounds in play and a lot of open ground. Now the fight taking place on your screens right now is at the edge of the zone, the southwestern edge. As you can have a look, and Aztec Mighty is not giving up, mate. He just went up against Team ESN, knocking and killing one member.
Right, and looking at the way we have Nalayk now trying to burst off cards, but I believe that they aren't, it's not going to create too much of an impact. We have Futurestation going under trouble. I mean, like Fallen and Futurestation, these two teams, they somehow end up at the same place. All the 4 games, all the 3 games that we have seen.
They do indeed, and well, Futurestation have that little advantageous position yet again, but they've got to be careful because on their backside is Team X, who is actually in the zone, but they are under fire by VR1 Esports. Now, Team X is going to be at the pinnacle of all the action because they have the good high spot, but every single team wants to get up that hill. Now, VR1 Punk is trying to make his way around. He's going to get out of the line of sight as Skeleton is going to get a knock on Frag OP from Futurestation. So we have a 3-way battle going on. Make that a 4-way as the Fallen Angels are going to be joining soon enough. But Lithia on his knees looks like he is going to get picked up by his teammate. Elsewhere, we have a potential fight breaking out in one of the buildings between MCYS and Team ESN. And wait a second, that one grenade was devastating, followed by a volley of bullets. And MCYS has been reduced, I do believe, to a 2-man squad.
Yes, and MCYS is right now to a 2-man squad with one of their players knocked out, obviously. But ESN2 coming up with a 2-man push. Dark needs to heal up, but we have seen Zark stepping up for his team a lot. And this is the time he needs to step up. Rambo is at the balcony, if I'm not wrong. So he might be safe for a moment, but then MCYS does need to go in. But no.
Boom. That was unexpected, right? Even I was like, did he like bleed out? But nope, he went boom, my friend.
He went boom from his own teammate's nade.
That is gonna sting. I get it. I get it. That's gonna sting.
Okay, I don't know what these boys do.
I know why. I get it. Why you're at a loss of words right now. You're like, what is happening? But Blitzkrieg are going to find themselves eliminated in the 13th position, quickly followed by FALLENangelz. Looks like Futurestation is stepping up to the plate, and MCYS are going to find themselves in this game in the 11th position as well. Teams are falling like dominoes, my friend.
Right, and here we have Team X. 6 kills, finally getting that touchback, getting that domination, the dominating run back, and finally going ham on every team that they see. Wiped out a couple of teams, I guess, and right now we have wiped out the 3rd team. In fact, Futurestation falling out at the 9th spot. 8 teams, 25 players were into the 5th circle, and the game has heated up. But XP, this was a very different game of Miramar that we got to see. Action began from round 2. I mean, like,
I mean, it was. pretty early on. Again, not very common. But are we complaining because this has actually kept us awake, hasn't it? Do you feel sleepy now, my friend?
Not really. I think, these boys did a great stuff, keeping us entertained.
Wow.
And Team
Oh
XSpark making
yes.
their way inside the circle so easy, so clean. No one competing their movement. I think great stuff. Again, we are going to see from XSpark. Let's see if they're able to pull off those 15 single chicken dinners that they are popular for in this round of PMCO. However, we have FINTOX coming in as well. But looking at the way XSpark is positioned, they have the highest advantage. And I think
And
XSpark, yeah.
against all odds, Nalayk are still in this game, right in the center, but they are going to be in a world of trouble. Kiru knocks himself out of his vehicle. Mamba falls down to his death. What is happening with Lord Fam? They just lost 2 members of their own volition. That is going to be devastating. Now they are picking a fight with Team ESN, if I'm not wrong, but over here, Nalayks just escaping death as a grenade went off right close to them. That means FINTOX is now going to be pretty much in a stalemate with Team X. Now, on paper, it looks like Team X have the advantage, but Nalayk are moving right towards them without any information. Mafia goes down. The last man is going to be VIP. Can he do something? I thought he spotted the enemy, but, well, I guess the nerves are going to be tingling right now, and the hands might be trembling just a little bit as some of the big boys are coming in for the kill. They do come in, get that kill. With that, Nalayks out in the 8th position.
Right, and I think a great and easy wipe coming out by the hands of Team XSpark, giving them a 9-point kill advantage. We are down to a situation where XSpark, it completely looks going in favor of XSpark. Other teams don't even have the man advantage to equate the way XSpark is playing. FINTOX Ryu is stepping up for his team once again, and look at the way. Oh, for a second I thought Aditya actually spotted that guy, and that would have been some great spotting skills, to be honest. And right now, we are seeing ESN Wang OP being the lone guy.
You know, I love the fact that Wang OP is the lone guy, but he's not giving up. Ooh, that Molotov almost getting the job done. It's going to definitely keep the enemies at bay. But I think one thing that XSpark are doing wonderfully is the scouting. The way they are, the recon is on point, the way they're trying to gather as much information. And now they spot HEX ReaperX. That vehicle blows up, and with that, Evo is going to get a knock on Zern. And it looks like Exodia was right next to him. He is going to be lucky that he didn't go down. But Wang OP is still not giving up. He is still letting off those bullets from his weapon, and well, a few of them connected, and he got that knock.
Yeah, but by the looks of it, Hex does have a chance to change the way this game turns out. Ooh. And the results of this game, the outcome of this game, and I think that was FINTOX getting eliminated, if I'm not wrong, and INGL is the 6th team to bow out as well. 5 teams, 11 players, 4v1, v1, v2, v3. Hex might make a difference, but apart from that, I don't see anyone being able to steal it away from the hands of XSpark.
I guess, like we said earlier, XSpark were just, they were testing the waters, and now they've kind of gauged the enemy, and they're like, you know what, we have drawn you up, and now we're coming for you. They are still a 4-man squad, 10 kills to their names. These guys look nigh unstoppable, and I like the fact that they are spread out far and wide. 420 OP is leading the charge with Destro in tow. Meanwhile, on the other side, Aditya and Evo are going to be keeping an eye on the enemies. Now, look at this information being delivered. He's not shooting yet. He wants to make sure they get all of them in the line of fire, and then they are going to let those bullets fly. That is amazing. That is a good trigger discipline, as we've talked earlier as well. And I'm sure that right now, see, they're not really making a move. He's 420 definitely let his team know that, okay, there's the potential enemy over here, but they've got to make sure that all their other surrounding areas are secure as well. That is why, if you still have a look at the minimap, Evo and Aditya still have their sights towards the left, towards the northwest. Again, this is what winners are made of.
Right, and looking at the way we have the team spread in front of us, XSpark definitely looking very confident. But Wang, look at Wang. Wang is still trying to hold, but then he needs to take some shots. He has 7 first aid kits. What is Wang doing? Why did he delay? I think he delayed the heal battle because the 6th circle, if I'm not wrong, you need to start pressing those, med kits as soon as the stock side. But looks like he somehow made it. But right now, for some reason, I think their 420 is overextended, and he could be in a lot of trouble, given the fact that Hex does know that Team XSpark is charging towards them. I mean, like, this could still go either way. It's one knock coming in from XSpark's way, and Team X could just try to, spoil it up.
Well, the thing about ESN's Wang OP is that they were completely blockaded by Team X. So I think he's done commendable to get his team to the third position. Now the question is, can he get them to second? Because he does have a lot of first aids and he's going to be making sure he taps that button on point. Mate, you don't even have to look around. All you got to do is make sure you apply those first aid. He knows there's a battle going on. Now the question is he going to get 10 points or is he going to get 14? And it looks like he's going to get 10 points. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get up. My death is in there. Ah, there we have it. Beautiful. He knew the camera was on him and he went out in a third position finish for Team ESN, the team that has been on absolute fire tonight. And now finally 420 OP exposes his position as he lays down some lead in HEX ReaperX's direction.
Oh, look at this precision with 420 OP lets his gun loose, and here we have I think it's Exodia coming out way open for the sake of that nade, and at the same time Destro picks up Kirito. That's GG, well played for HEX ReaperX, while Team X would just go in and wipe the opponent out. I mean, like, just a matter of moments, and we don't even have to wait for
if Phoenix goes down, he's going to rise from his ashes.
I don't see that happening in front of Team XSpark. No, XP, it's not happening. I mean, like, we have seen so many games. We have seen sides change, but not when you have a 4-man XSpark charging towards a single player. And but yes, great stuff by HEX as well, holding on to their nerves, making it until the very end. And what a game of Miramar. Unexpected action.
Well, all you XSpark fans out there, I have one question for you. Are you happy now? Because you were waiting, even Thug was asking questions. What's happened to them? I was like, just give them some time. They're going to show up. But what an amazing performance by HEX ReaperX as well, managing to make that second position. And I've got to give a shout out to the gentleman, Wang OP from Team ESN, who was out there, got his team to the third position, but the MVP from Game 3 on day 2 of the semi-finals is going to go to 420 OP, leading the charge as his team won the chicken dinner. 6 kills, 590 points of damage.
Right, and looking at the way these boys have played, and especially 420 OP, we have talked about him in every game. He is I won't say it's a single man show, but he's definitely the strongest anchor when it comes to Team XSpark making their way and holding on to their ground.
It is actually, and the thing is, for Team XSpark, any one player can be that anchor on any given day. It's all about the form that they're in. But if you have a look at the top 5 players, 420, of course, right at the front with AZTECS, Mighty getting his team to a good position as well. And let's not forget about Destro, who participated and did his bit for his team. 3 kills to his name, 416 points of damage for him. Evo with 3 kills as well. And FINTOX is real. Now, FINTOX, again, a very aggressive kill-heavy game. They were caught out again from all sides, which was kind of inevitable, expecting the fact that they got themselves in a little valley of death situation, but a good outing by them as well. And I'm surprised Nalayk made it to the 8th position against all odds.
Yeah, Nalayk did a great job. I think they were at the 12th spot when they were on the verge of elimination, 12th or 11th, and they eventually ended up, I think, at the 8th spot, like you mentioned. But we have the points table in front of us, and I think that would give us a better view. XSpark definitely in the charge with 34 points. HEX ReaperX, 1 kill only, but those 14 question marks are definitely going to help them.
It definitely will. And in third position, Team ESN, again, the most consistent team of the day for me so far. 14 points to their names, followed by FINTOX, who I mentioned went frag heavy, the second highest kills in the game with 8 kills, 13 points in total. AZTECS also had a pretty decent game, finishing 5th. Nalayk, although they did finish in the 8th position, they're going to slip down to 9th because they do not have a single kill to their name. Now, the big disappointment, so to speak, from this game are going to be VR1 Esports, FALLENangelz, and BlitzkriegXP. Now, BlitzkriegXP seems like they haven't really found their footing.
Yeah, I think BXP still has a lot of work to do to make their way up to the top and ensure a safe place. I think BlitzkriegXP is not yet at a safer spot. If you look at the eliminations, however, we still have a couple of games to another game to go today. The last game that's gonna be Erangel, where I think BlitzkriegXP can try to come back, because Erangel is a very basic map, to be honest, and you don't need to do much apart from coming up with a textbook performance.
And well, let's have a look at the match summary. Of course, 41 kills, 40 knocks. So basically, whoever got knocked kind of ended up getting killed. Total headshots 15, not too bad, not too bad. One airdrop was looted, 6 grenade kills. Now that is something that we saw, and in fact, we have the pleasure of watching as it unfolded right before our eyes. And smokes and nades, of course, 113. That is, well, to be expected on a map like Miramar. But again, a different kind of Miramar. We thought it would be a little slow, a little tactical, teams rotating, but it was just pandemonium. I thought Sanhok and Miramar kind of switched up this time, right? Both the maps kind of played like each other because Sanhok was kind of a lull at the beginning and then action at the end. Miramar was the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, like unexpectedly, like you said. I mean, like Miramar, we did call it at the very beginning. I might doze off by the game ends, but from the second circle, they kept me wide awake, looking at the way action unfolded in that particular map. And yes, we have the final overall standings. Yes, we would like to walk through.
Yes, sir. Right up top, we have Futurestation with 82 points. They are going to be crowned kings for now. FINTOX are coming in behind with 78. Again, like I said, they've had a wonderful, wonderful day. A lot of kills and a lot of placement points. Insane are going to be slipping down to the third position, but again, they have 3 games in hand. We're going to see a lot more from them tomorrow. VR1 Esports in fourth. Now, if I quickly have a look, Lord Fam have been playing good. Not a lot of kills, but they are coming up in that department as well. Pretty consistent as far as placement points go. AZTECS ESP are making waves as well, as is Team ESN, who are now in the 8th position. Now, of course, a few teams over here, they all have games in hands, except XSpark, who are in the 10th position with 45 points. Now, they have one more game left in the day. The question is, if they get that chicken dinner, they can actually catapult themselves right to the top, Thug.
Yeah, I mean, like it's only about a chicken dinner for every team here on, because I believe that although the teams have played a lot of games, the average, if you see the average, it's really bad, and it's just a matter of one chicken dinner for any team whatsoever to make it to the top front page and, you know, get a safe spot for themselves. However, talking about the teams that have played 7 games and are still on the verge of extinction, or we can say are on the verge of getting kicked out, is definitely Nalayk being one of them, and BlitzkriegXP not having a good run in this tournament. 3 games, 22 points, an average of 7, but not good enough to make it to the top.
You know, now, of course, with a name like Nalayk, I'm pretty sure a few memes shall be following suit soon enough. But I love the name. I'm pretty sure you love the name as well,
Definitely.
right?
I
The
mean,
thing
like,
is,
so desi,
we love it. Just to
altogether.
let you know, it is so desi. And of course, we've been called by our mothers for our entire lives. I remember. Nalayk, what are you doing? You know, I mean, it's part of my life. But I want to see these boys back stronger, and I want to make sure that they keep that name because I want them to prove everyone wrong. It's all right. This is the first time they've appeared on our screens. This is the first time, and you know, there's always the first time. It might not be the best thing, but we definitely are going to expect something bigger from them and all the teams. But now we are down to the last game of the day, and we're going to come back to Erangel. I'm going to be talking about predictions later on, as you are just going to take us through XSpark. That is some phenomenal kills for 420 OP.
Right, and I think 420 OP leading the team from the front, 10 kills and 1000 damage. Not bad, but we obviously do expect more out of Team XSpark. Out of 3 games, they have 19 kills, averaging at a 6 kills and a half. But the way they have performed overall, and looking at the way their journey has been, I do expect them to double or triple these numbers up, because we are habituated to see Team XSpark averaging at 25-30 points each game, looking at the way they opened their journey in PMCO. But right now, it's fine. They finally got the chicken dinner. This could be their way up ahead here on, where they are finally able to get their touch back.
Absolutely, and like I said, it's only 3 games down for them. The 4th game is going to be underway very shortly, and they still have 4 more games when we return after this little break. So I'm pretty sure that the top 3 positions are going to be kind of quivering and shaking in their knees as this team makes their way up the leaderboard. But again, it all going to come down to the last game, and it's going to be Erangel, and I'm sure that it should be underway really soon. But anyway, before that, predictions, Thug. Who do you think is going to take it?
I think XSpark getting the chicken dinner. I think they would be entering the next game pretty high on tempo and momentum, and I definitely do expect that XSpark might show us some results. But before that, before to see all the action that awaits, we need to head to a short break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned, gentlemen.
Hello and welcome back one last time to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2020 Indian Edition Semi-Finals Day 2. But now it's going to be Game 4. My name is Angazing Chehal. I'm the experiment, and with me is Animesh Agarwal. You know him better as 8-Bit Thug. Thug, we've seen it all. We've seen the underdog teams perform well today. We've seen the big boys finally show up. A lot riding on Game 4. You think XSpark might take it? Is that going to be true?
I'm not really certain, but then it's a good way to end the day because we have an Erangel coming up. It helps us to summarize a lot of stuff and all the action that went, because we need to see if XSpark got that touch back and if they are able to connect finally, because we have Erangel rolling in pretty soon. We had FINTOX, we had the MVP boys, we had the XSpark. We're taking a chicken dinner each, but now we hop into the last game. Erangel, a map that's everyone's favorite, a map that is my favorite. Obviously, given the fact that we have been playing Erangel since we have started playing PUBG.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we just had a look at the winners on our screens right now. One team that kind of fell short a couple of times was Team ESN. I think they might actually just push a little bit more in the last game and, come out with the chicken dinner, because, again, it's like they're a new team, because they like I said, a couple of days before we saw that they are capable, but then they weren't really doing anything. But today they just came out guns blazing. In fact, yesterday as well, I do believe we saw them play pretty decent, and I wonder if they're going to do that in the last game. But they've come out guns blazing. I like that. I like that aggressiveness.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's actually gonna be very interesting to see a team like ESN making it to the PMPL and giving us all a surprise and a shock. Because even if they do make it to the PMPL, the journey is not gonna be easy. We know PMPL comprises of the league, and then we make it to the finals, and then we have eliminations hanging on around the PMPL final. So the process is a pretty lengthy one. So we do have to wait, watch, and see how it unfolds, because the way the Indian PUBG Mobile competitive scene has been dynamic, I mean, like, it could go either way. So I would not mind seeing a team like ESN or FALLENangelz, to be honest. I think these are those two teams, two new names that stand out for me entirely. I mean, I would bet
Absolutely.
my money on them.
Oh, well, I think if you guys hear this, 8-Bit Thug is willing to bet some money on you, so you better do good and hit him up after the show. But anyway, coming back to this thing, they are going to be going up against the best of the best also, so I guess we're going to be gauging what they made of then. But meanwhile, we're going to have a look at FINTOX and Futurestation. Both teams have won a chicken dinner apiece, with the FINTOX leading as far as skills go with 5 over their opponents, 31 as compared to 26. Now, the damage, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit different. 200 short for FINTOX, but the healing is just phenomenal. That goes to show that they've been in the thick and thin of action, especially today. They were pretty much the one time they won, and after that, when they were eliminated, they were still in the thick of all the action. So that is something commendable. They're not shying away from fights, and I wonder if they're going to do the same in Erangel.
Yeah, and talking about Erangel, the game kicks in. The flight path travels from military base to STALWART, easternly biased flight path. Might cause trouble to a couple of teams, because if, from last I remember, teams do tend to go towards Ruins, Georgiopol, and Quarry. However, Primos and Gatka, however, remains somewhat vacant. So let's see how the teams decide to fare XSpark, going for the repeated drops towards military base. It's gonna be interesting if XSpark is to move towards to PMPL. How would Team IND react to that?
Well, we're going to have to wait and find out. And, because Scout is going to be coming in as well at some point. So even he loves going to that place. So it's going to be interesting. I would not mind that. I would want to see some action on that island right at the beginning. But I like the fact that MCYS in the first Erangel, they headed over to Primorsk. This time, they're like, you know what? It's just a little bit too far. We're going to head over to Novoripnoi. Now, I expected FINTOX to drop at Novoripnoi, but somehow they are probably positioning themselves for a little bit of a blockade as they drop south of the farm. And well, the zone comes in and says, you know what, you all are going to have to travel north, as it forms right up north with Yasnaya pretty much as the center.
Right, and this is a very weird zone, a different zone that we got to see. We might get to see some haphazard circles, but depends how team react to it. Either the teams have an option to flock to Yasnaya, or they have the option to take a chance, because if the zone switches upward, that's when things get spicy and interesting. If it moves towards the southern part, we have a lot of compounds to take control of. But north, up to the north of Yasnaya, we don't have much compounds. We have that Elber Hill, we have that hill with the warehouse, and apart from that, it's just open barren land. So we'll have to wait, watch, and see. Meanwhile, Pukar making some interesting moves.
He is making some interesting moves. In fact, he's got a lot of people that he can take a few shots at, but it's not really going to be accurate at that range. And I think he should be having a look at loot more than killing. But it's all good, and well, he is going to make sure that he gets his loot now. I think that's what he should be focusing on. Elsewhere, a lot of people are running out in the fields, and HEX ReaperX are running along with UP50. Now, again, I was going to ask you the question, but I'm just going to wait for you in a second because I've got a point to make. Oh, he's going to be run over! Sarkar dodging him in the nick of time. They are going to be playing a game of cat and mouse, jumping out of harm's way yet again. Garito is desperate to get some kills, but the question is he going to be wasting time? And it looks like he is going to back out and pick up his teammates. Well, as he does that, I think UP50 are going to make it to the water zone first. Now, this is going to be exciting. He does have a weapon on his back. He's going to whip it out. It's the PP Bison. The question is, can he get a few shots on? He is definitely going to try. Again, free kills. Who is going to say no? But there was some retaliation as well. So I guess, well, they made it out alive. You know, one thing I was going to let you guys know was that it's kind of odd, especially for me. Let me know in the chat over there. Is it just me, or do you also feel kind of weirded out when Georgia Paul is absolutely empty? And, you know, I'm actually happy that HEX ReaperX are, in fact, heading out in that direction. But I do believe, let's have a look at the circle. A lot of teams are already in the circle. A lot of teams congregating towards the southwest over there with UP50, HEX ReaperX, and Futurestation, and we are one. Now, Thug, we might just see some action right over there, just south of Rozhok, a little bit north of Pachinki, and also have a look at how FINTOX are getting in position, possibly to lay down some damage in MCYS's direction.
Yeah, and also like these are two very crucial spots. Also towards Severny, I see a little bit of action happening around Fallen and MVP. And like you mentioned, to the south of Rozhok, it's crazy to see how teams adapted to the circle and decided to change their spot. This shows that these teams don't really care a lot about their drops. They are more biased towards the circle, and they would feel free to drop anywhere and everywhere. I mean, like, teams must take a note of this and need to ensure, like, especially teams that take a drop at those center points, because center points generally tend to become a target drop point when the circle goes haphazard, when the first circle tends to move anywhere. Because generally what happens, the center part of the map still manages to stay in the first circle, unless we have a circle that is very much towards the northern part, extends towards the outside of the map. We have seen those weird circles, but we don't get to see that often. So I believe teams dropping towards Rozhok, I mean, like, Rozhok always stays a very questionable drop. A lot of teams do try to make Rozhok a safe haven if the drop changes, if the circle comes randomly weird.
And I think it only makes sense if you first drop off at Rozhok, so you know, capitalize on the loot, or you come to Rozhok fully kitted out. Because if you're not kitted out and you start getting caught out between different teams and all those houses, especially since we have houses at different levels, that is going to be problematic. Elsewhere over here, MCYS's Rambo is trying to lay down some lead in FINTOX's Royals direction, but none of the bullets are going to connect on either end. And well, MCYS have negated the little one-man block, and they make their way into the circle. Elsewhere, HEX ReaperX are picking a fight with UP50 over here, and he has a shotgun. Missed his first shot, but Pyrus JX is not going to mix as he comes in, gets the kill, and gets the knock. Well, gets the knock and then the kill, confirm the kill. But again, the question is, mate, what are these teams doing so split up? What was HEX ReaperX's one person doing over here?
I think that's some next level strategy that we are getting to see. You know, like whenever a team tries to do something that is purely off meta or something I never seen, I call it like a big growth in their horizon and vision. They are foreseeing something that could be a meta 5 years down the lane. Ooh. So I mean, like, let's give them a good fair chance to test.
Plus, you know, talking about meta, of course, we've seen a general meta form nowadays, but again, it's a battle royale, and, you know, you can win in a lot of different ways. You know, killing is, of course, something that, you know, we all enjoy in-game, mind you. We all enjoy that as teams knock each other out. I'm going to come to my point in a second, as AZTECS seems like they are picking a fight with Nalayk. Now, Nalayk again getting caught out. Again, what are they doing out in the open? They were kind of heading towards Yasnaya, but they are not scouting. They're not gathering enough information, and with that, Dominator, unfortunately, is going to be out of this game. Ooh, Mafia almost taking a few shots. He took one as he was mid-air, but I guess that's the end of their assault, and they are going to have to back off.
Right, and looking at the way AZTECS and by Nalayk are plays, I think Dominator is definitely done. Other three players don't really need to take a chance because this was a lost cause, sending Dominator into the shangles of their opponent alone without being able to provide too much of a cover fire. Pretty disappointed with the way the Angles, the Nalayks hold, and I think this could be the last game they would play in the PMCO First Bit India edition.
Wow, I like that. I like that. I like that. You missed 2020, but I like that Indian edition. I loved it. But now Aztec Mighty, he does get the knock with the grenade. He finishes them off. But the other members, I think they've been spotted out. They are going to make their way to safety. They are not going to be in the line of fire right now. Again, like you said, it might be the last time we're seeing them in the PMCO. And the best is that we can just hope that, they come back stronger and better next time around. Elsewhere, I think HEX ReaperX are going to be picking a fight with Team ESN, which should be up on our screens shortly as the FALLENangelz get ready for a fight with the enemies in front of them. But we're going to come to Nalayk once again, who've kind of escaped death at one end, but looks like they are coming in and trying to pick a fight with BlitzkriegXP. And BlitzkriegXP, they need to act quick. They want to make sure they do not give their opponents any time to come in. And Naughty Boy did not spot Dark God somehow as he took shots at Mafia's vehicle. But again, Nalayk versus BXP, and looks like VIP is already moving out.
Yes, and I think BXP talking about the way they have fared. I think they definitely need a good game of redemption. I think it's more about self-redemption rather than proving a point to our audience. Because Blitzkrieg, they are the veterans. Right now, we also have another tournament round the corner which just got announced. They have been the retaining champions of the tournament. They went by the name Terrifying Nightmares way back in the past 2018 when the scene was not so big. So they proved their point, proved what they are made of when everyone was just trying to make their way up. So these boys need to put up a good fight. I mean, like, come on, Sakriya, Mad Dog, Volt. We have seen these boys play at in the domestic circuit, went ahead and represented India in Dubai in 2018 PMSC. So giving the kind of stack that they have on their backing, the kind of wins that they have, the show that they have put up in the past, we definitely do expect to put them a fight. And not, I mean, like, you might lose, you might win, like you said, win, lose, draw does
At
not
least
really
go
matter.
for it.
It is go for
Right.
it. And here we have an interesting lob nade coming from Kirito XP.
And this fight is taking place out in the blue. I kind of predicted this earlier on because the Team ESN, remember they got that one kill on a member of HEX ReaperX when I said, what is he doing out there? Turns out they are now going to go in for the remaining members as Pirate JX is going to find himself knocked out. Zoe trying to scurry the land over there, trying to figure out the lay of the land and spot an enemy. But I think they are dug in a bit too much. Now, Kurito and Exodia are the last two members for HEX ReaperX. Meanwhile, elsewhere, BXP's Volt gets a knock on Ignite, but it's not from Nalayk, it's from MCYS. This is a risky move. Pirate JX, he needs to be picked up because he has been instrumental in this team's success, and looks like that revive is going to come in the nick of time. No, it doesn't. The play zone is going to take him for itself.
Right, and ESN right now is caught outside the circle, and this is a very bad trap or a web that you can say. When you see your opponents right in front of your eyes, you feel that you can take those kills off, and you keep on lingering until the very end outside the circle until a point comes where you realize that the damage from the circle is overpowering your healing abilities, and you end up with less utilities. I think teams need to be this is where experience comes in. Teams need to realize that there is one thing, only one thing in the game that is in your hands, that you can ensure that you are inside the circle. You die off while making that attempt, but you can at least ensure that. And when teams make zone their enemy, I mean, like, I don't get that. I never get that. Why would you do that? Just move inside the circle.
All right. I have a public service announcement for all you guys watching. If you actually support all these teams, and in fact you yourselves want to be professional esports athletes in the future, make sure you tape this. Thug just gave you some good points, and this is not just a cause for you guys. This is also a learning experience. You're absolutely right, and we're definitely going to have a talk about this later on. Probably on one of your Charcha shows. Let's see. We'll figure that out. Anyway, right now, Aztec Pradhan is laying down some lead with that beautiful SLR, and he's trying to get a few knocks on VR1. Now, VR1 are in a very precarious situation. I've never been a fan of those wizard towers, as we like calling them, or the Harry Potter towers. It depends on what you want. Especially being split up in twos on the first floor and on the ground floor, it's a risky move, because if another team comes in from behind, and this particular situation, this particular place, Thug, we've seen time in and time out to the south of Yasnaya, we've seen multiple teams, just engulf that particular tower, and all the inhabitants inside are blown to bits. So again, why do they keep doing that again and again?
I mean, like, I don't know. This could be a part of their strategy. It could be a part of the way they look at the game. It could be the part of the homework they did before entering the tournament. But right now, Yesna looks so stacked. Imagine the circle moving way up and getting a hold of Stelber. We would see 20 casts. I mean, like, you know, an FNF kind of a scene. Teams trying to race each other off and trying to make their way inside Stelber. And like we said, oh, I would love to see that transition happening where we see the steering wheel form on all the teams. Those numbers getting replaced by steering wheels, because this is a circle that's gonna change the game entirely.
Yes, sir. And see, VR1 is going to be in a world of trouble as Punk goes down, courtesy of Dark Lord and that DP28. Elsewhere, I saw some interesting rotations. FINTOX, in fact, were the first to move to the new zone. They are heading from the eastern edge of the circle all the way to the right. They're going to go up right towards STALWART. Ah, there we have the circle. Have a look at how they're moving in. Now, FALLENangelz were already in the zone, but they realized, all right, a lot of teams are going to be heading in. They might be heading for that big warehouse just to the left of FINTOX right now, but I believe they've stopped a little earlier. They must have that little ridge in control. Now the question is, are teams going to go right up towards STALWART, or are they going to be content fighting on the slopes? Looks like FINTOX are the ones who are going to be taking that flat piece of land with that warehouse. Again, it's a good position, but very hard to defend.
Yeah, I want to see which team thinks of entering the circle from the STALWART side. Assuming the fact that obviously STALWART would have been left out. I mean, it's all mind games. It's all about reading the opponent's mind. If the teams are still trying to approach their way, up south, then I believe that this is something that every team would want to do. But the team that tries to flank entirely left or right and then enter the circle from the STALWART might have a good chance compared to other teams and might be able to just hang on until the very end. Right now, definitely I see around 4 teams who might struggle towards the end to make it into the last circle, because we have just hit the 3rd circle, and this 3rd circle is a game changer, XP.
It is a game changer, and I love the fact that it's not like the previous circles we saw in Erangel when it was like, you know, the same old boring ones. Ooh, has Frag OP got his car in a little bit of a pickle? No, he doesn't. He backs it up and takes it out, but Ryu is going to be in a position to lay down some lead in Pukar's direction, almost getting a knock, taking out a considerable chunk from his HP. He's going to make sure he patches himself up. He did lose a wheel in that little skirmish, so it's a good decision on his part to get in touch with his vehicle, but MVP is going to go down. Wait a second, not MVP. VIP goes down. Nalayk are going to be eliminated in the 1st position yet again, this time courtesy of Blitzkrieg. Now, we already called it. We saw them in a fight with someone else, and we saw them head towards their direction, and they finally paid the price. But I think that's the last time we are seeing them in this tournament. Good luck to them for all their future endeavors, and hopefully they come back stronger. But one team which is kind of stronger and which should be capitalizing from what just went down, it's Blitzkrieg. If they can get a big game right now, I think they're well in tune for a top 16 placement tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, like, team Blitzkrieg does have a chance. Blitzkrieg, I mean, I won't compare the team that we were just discussing with Blitzkrieg.
Oh, yeah.
Because Blitzkrieg does come in with a lot of experience. We have seen them performing a good game, and like 1 out of 5 games do go in Blitzkrieg's favor. But right now, LF looks like in a lot of trouble. Oh, look at the circle.
What?
I mean,
I love it. I
love this. We had those lame circles being so merciful for these teams, and now we have this circle going entirely south. And I mean, like, right. What would ESN be thinking?
Let's call it out. ESN, MVP, VR1, they all were like, you know what? We're going to go and sit up on the mountain and we're going to wait for all the enemies to come in. But no, now they are going to have to move downhill. And all the teams that kind of decided to head, hold their positions in Yesnaya might be grinning as well. But FINTOX, they made the right decision. They were heading towards that high top at STALWART, but now they are in a good position. But again, hotly contested, hard to defend because you've got a flat piece of land, big mountain all around, and you've got that downslope as well, so you can expect enemies from a lot of angles.
Right, and looking at the way the teams are rotating, I believe that's not going to be too difficult given the fact that teams decided to stay south near Yesna, and even Team XSpark holding the southeastern edge. Meanwhile, we have teams trying to appear from the north. They need to be careful of the fact that they would have a, if they are trying to appear straight up north, will have a hill which is already being held by FINTOX. Meanwhile, we have VR1 moving straight up towards FALLENangelz, and we have VR1 Deuce moving in. Floodfire leading the charge team, takes one down. Deuce coming up with the cover fire, might go down as well, but no, there's some amazing cover fire from Deuce to pick off another teammate. It's a 1-1 situation right now. 3v3 still up. Vishu trying to hold as well, but gets third partied by VR1 Rage. In fact, not third party. Rage made a really good angle and picked a couple from Fallen, and I think FALLENangelz might just go down.
They might go down, but they are still lucky to the fact that UP50 haven't pushed up from the other end, but now they're going to give a chance to make sure that all their fallen comrades are picked up. VR1's Rage is going to move in. Clutcher and Bloodfire, can they hold off this attack coming in towards him? Rage opens fire, gets a couple of shots, but he takes a lot of damage in the turn as well, but he does get the knock finally. Funk coming in and knocking out Clutcher, and over here Bloodfire goes down to 3 weapons aimed at him, courtesy of VR1 Esports. I think FALLENangelz are in big trouble. Kirito is the last man standing, who is frantically trying to pick up his teammate Vichu, but that is going to be a little bit too late, as all the 4 members of VR1 are engulfing him, and they have engulfed him. With that, we have a team getting eliminated. FALLENangelz, one of the favorites, getting eliminated in the 13th position. VR1 still alive and kicking, but the troubles are not over yet, as UP50 heard all that commotion. They are moving in as Sarkar opens it up with a knock on Skeleton.
Right, and here we have VR1 trying to cook a nade, and it's amazing. UP50 trying to come up with an amazing third party. That nade could just connect, but UP Daddy knows that Rage is inside that particular shack, and he might come up with a nade which might take down entirely. And I think VR1 is going down. Rage and Deuce, last 2 standing guys. They have been surrounded by UP50 on all sides. We have Eddie, Dr. Dormammu, Sarkar trying to encircle VR1, and like I said, XP, any team trying to move up from north towards the circle, they would have been in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
1 or 2 teams had to collaborate. Yeah.
Exactly, that is exactly what we're seeing right now, and I love the fact that UP50, they were patient, thought they capitalized on the situation as they are shredding VR1 Esports to pieces as one more member goes down, and all the weight is going to come down on the last shoulder. So the question is that going to be enough? Deuce finally bites the dust. Rage is being quiet because now the blue zone has in fact forced UP50 to back off as well. He only has another first aid left after this one. It's going to be a bit too late, and I guess he wants to move in behind and try and get a few lucky shots, but it's a little bit too late. But we are going to join him as he is probably going to succumb to his injuries, and we're going to see another victim being engulfed by the blue zone. Let's have a look. Is he going to get a lucky shot? He just might. No, go for it. Why would you bandage? He could have actually got a knock on a member and been like, devastating for them, but he does get taken out.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are those moments when you have those brain fade moments, we call them, and I think that could have been one from VR1 Rage. But that was a great finish. Wipeout from FINTOX view. I mean, like, FINTOX view, he just went.
That was so cinematic.
So cinematic. I mean, like, he had those shots coming in as he went downhill, took the drop. But we have ESN at a pretty good spot, XP. But ESN needs to move into the circle, and yes, they have to go in straight up. INGL also looks like they are struggling, but Explicit looks in a bigger trouble right now with Spurge OP picking him off, and obviously it's gonna get confirmed. All the teams trying to move in, and guess who would be smiling? The teams that trusted Yesna as their safe haven.
And one of the teams that are inside the zone right now is BXP. Now, Blitzkrieg, they are in a good spot. They have all the members alive. They can make the most of this. But FINTOX Royal, you cannot really defy gravity like that, my friend, unless you have some grappling hooks with you. You are going to have to make sure you get another angle. It would be a good idea if you actually go with your teammate, but they are under heavy fire from UP50. But Dormammu is the one who's going to get knocked out, and that's enough lead in him. He's going to get finished off by Ryu as well. Now, the question is, are they going to go downhill on foot, or are they going to take the risk of going down in their slightly damaged UAZ? Elsewhere, AZTECS are fighting with ESN as they get a knock, and MCYS is laying down the fire, the hurt on UP50. That is a beautiful grenade. Ooh, it bounced off just a little bit, and Addy is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Right, and we have 8 teams to 24 players, and Eddie could, I think Eddie just went down, and that's the GG for UP50. I think UP50 just got eliminated. Yes, they did, but 7 kill points. I think not 7 kill, but I think they had 5 kill points, which is pretty impressive as well. But look at XP. This is the game that they might just be able to redeem onto, because they have 6 kills already. And look at AZTECS Pradhan trying to pick up FINTOX, do some good spray, but Pradhan managing both the jiggle, trying to take cover, take some shots, go back into cover. AZTECS 5 kills, trying to do their work, and Ryu did a great job trying to back off.
Now, Dark Lord is doing his bit as he gets a knock on Hunt. Now, Pradhan is going to move in. The question is it a bit too late? He might have left it off a little bit too late elsewhere. Ryu is going to get finished with that. FINTOX are going to be eliminated in the 8th position with 5 kills to their names. And against all odds, the AZTECS ESP boys are going to make it to the zone. But can they survive the onslaught of bullets that await them? Team X, on the other hand, have made quite a good fortification out in the open. But the thing is, they have lost a few tires and the vehicles are on fire. They're going to need to move in. How are they going to do that?
Right, and I mean, like, it's going to be very difficult for teams to move in if they're trying to run down the hill, because a lot of teams would definitely have their scopes on and their crosshairs pinned, looking at the hills. And here, BXP actually does have the best spot. If you see BXP and LF, these are the two teams, but LF does not really look like it's an entire team surviving. It's just one guy, but he can actually take his team to the top 2, top 3 finish depending upon what they do. But look at Evo, what an amazing spray to pick off BXP. Mad Dog might get an opening for his team.
He just might do that as AZTECS ESPs are going to be bowing out in the 7th position with 7 kills. Another fight is breaking out between Futurestation. Ooh, he gets Sparsh. And with that, Team INGL are exiting this game as well. We are down to the last 5 teams, 14 players alive. BXP in a world of trouble as they are getting shot at by Team X, who in turn are under fire courtesy of Futurestation. Somraj over here emptying an entire clip into Destro's direction. However, that buggy proved to be useful and he is still alive and kicking. Meanwhile, Walt is trying to go in for the kill. He does realize that this place is under cover by somebody else, and Lord Fam's hotshot is going to have his work cut out for them. Now, MCYS Dark can be in a good position to lay down some lead as well, but Pukar with a beautiful grenade gets a double knock as Evo goes down along with Aditya. Can that second knock confirm the kill? We are going to have to wait and find out, but his weapon definitely can. Aditya goes down, Pukar on fire.
Right, and you know, FS finally stepping up once again, and this could, oh, look at Pukar. I mean, like, he's not stopping. He has his eyes everywhere. He is sliding his fingers right and left on his mobile screen, if I am not wrong. And it comes on to the, you know, battle of the elites.
Hope you're not wrong.
Yeah, like, we have the battle of elites. BXP, Team X going against FS, all the 3 big names. Team XSpark does look in a lot of trouble with Evo and Aditya going down. BlitzkriegXP still trying to make their way up. They've confirmed Evo, I guess, and today, although XSpark did take chicken that game, but they aren't able to play that naturally, as we have seen. Like, even if XSpark used to get eliminated at the 5th spot, we saw them getting in a lot of kills, raking in a lot of kill points.
Yeah, they haven't really picked a lot of fights in this game. They've avoided fights, in fact, in Erangel. I think they wanted to carry the momentum forward of the chicken dinner placement points and not their kill points. So that is, of course, evident on our screens right now. But let's talk about BXP. They are still a 4-man squad. Mad Dog leading his team with 6 kills to his name, a total of 10 kills for BXP. Now, these guys are in arguably one of the best positions, but it all comes down to the next circle. And it is in the open with just a rock or 2 for cover. All the vehicles that I can see right now are destroyed and are immobile, so it's going to be a lot of smoke grenades that are going to be deployed all over the new circle right now, and we might see a few lucky pop shots crack some skulls open, especially Futurestation. They can be in a wonderful position to put the hurt on BXP.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is all on the zone. I mean, like, BXP did a great job. I won't take the credit away. And also, XP, I remember you talking about Mad Dog, and you must be super proud to see him raking in the 6 kills for his team, and the veteran proving why he has those many accolades to his name. But right now, like you rightfully mentioned, FS does have a big advantage, massive one. They have the hill all to themselves, and BXP are too busy engaged with Team XSpark. So meanwhile, Futurestation might just take everything away from both of these teams.
Well, that advantage has been nullified as BXP moved quickly, and now they have got one of the best positions in the zone. They have this ridge for cover, and they can lay a lot of hurt. But Destro over here gets a knock on Sakria. Sakria again, just look at him. He was a bit too far off from his team, and he's paid the ultimate price. The rest of his team was in cover quickly. He thought he'd stay back a little bit and get some damage done, but now Winterstorm, he's going to be sneaking up on 420 OP. Both teammates get up. Storm is going to be the one who gets a knock on 420 OP. That is going to be devastating for Team X, as Destro might just be the only man alive for his team. He is moving in, and I think that's the situation. 3 teams, 7 players alive. BXP with 3 members trying to win their first chicken dinner. The question is, can they do that? Mad Dog takes down Destro, and with that, Aditya, he's got a lot of work on his shoulders. But again, Mad Dog and the boys, they have the zone right now. Thug. They have the zone.
They have the
They
zone.
should take this game.
Yeah, I mean, like they should take this game. They have played this game with a lot of control, and they took control of the entire situation. They ensured that they have a complete overview of everything that's happening around them. I actually want BXP to win this, and yes, they are on the verge of winning it. Mad Dog picks up Destro, but FINTOX did a very daring stuff. He had like 4x on his M4 move, tried to move straight up. Lovely to see BXP coming with donates. It's a 3v1 situation, and yes, Pukar, the last guy standing. BXP might just want to move in. Naughty by leading the charge. Mad Dog and Volt trying to help with some cover fire. Pukar gets spotted, and that's a shot. And what amazing game by Blitzkrieg. What a way to end the day.
Well, finally, BlitzkriegXP winning their first chicken dinner, and they've done it in style. An amazing, dominating performance. And again, they trusted their gut. They were one of the teams that stayed back towards the southern edge of the circle as it formed around STALWART. And well, it paid off for them in abundance. And the first chicken dinner, that is going to be definitely something that, they're going to try and carry forward in their remaining games. But overall, what a nail-biting finish. Again, the tables kept turning one after the other.
Yeah, I mean, like tables kept turning, and the zone, I mean, like the zone was such a crucial point, and it played such an amazing role. This is the kind of games which you like to see, where a team cannot just be favored unless skill. I mean, like a team needs to either be skilled enough to make their way into the chicken. No, you should not just get into your hands. But let's talk about Mad Dog, the man of the moment. 9 kills, 722 damage.
Yes, sir. 9 kills, and finally Mad Dog living up to his name, just going crazy like a rabid animal. And it's about time, because again, like you said, one of the veterans from this game, they exuded patience right now. That is something that was on show right now. There were times that a lot of other teams were kind of overextending. I get it. You knock a person, you want to get that kill. But you got to remember, as soon as you do knock a person, all eyes are going to be on you. Especially if you don't have a suppressed weapon or something like that. So, you got to be careful that you get back into cover. That is something we saw a lot happening. And, people were just, teams were trading off knocks from one another, and they just got their numbers depleted. BXP, on the other hand, they were in a precarious situation twice. We did see them. But they were like, you know what, we're content with 1 kill. We're going to go to the zone and make the best of it. And, well, they did make the best of it.
Yes, and let's talk a little bit more in further detail about the top 5 players of match 4. We have View coming out with 4 kills and holding the second spot, and we have AZTECS Dark Lord with 3 kills, and we have Naughty Boy with the 3 kills as well, and Spurs Shope with the 3 kills and a decent amount of damage. But from what I see, Mad Dog definitely stands out from the crowd. The way he has performed 9 kills, beating everyone by a huge margin, summing up the kills taken by the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th highest flagger in this game. Good stuff, great stuff being shown from Blitzkrieg finally, and we hope, and I think this we couldn't have asked for a better, and like I was saying, this could be the game where we get to summarize the entire day, and like we discussed, Group C is coming in with an impact.
They are definitely coming in with an impact, and the teams that we were kind of expecting things from have kind of performed. XSpark getting a win, FALLENangelz kind of falling just a little short. But let's have a look at the match summary. A lot of kills in this game, of course, 52 kills. Somebody has to die, don't they? Total of 12 headshots, a few smokes and nades used this time, all of them pretty much coming towards the end of the game, and grenade kills as well, 3. A lot less as compared to what we saw in the first Erangel game, but overall I think it was a wonderful way to put an end to this day.
Yeah, I mean, like a lovely game, lovely day of PUBG Mobile. Overall, we got to see everything that we wanted. The underdogs putting up a good show, the old veterans, the big names, the teams with a huge amount of fan following coming up, and finally, and showing the kind of gameplay that we want to see. But yes, I still believe this PMCO has a lot of hidden cards into it. We might get to see a very unexpected and different kind of end result, because the way these teams have performed, it's like so unexpected. Everything is so different.
I mean, that is the beauty of this whole tournament. Like I've said, a lot of untapped potential over here. But let's have a look at the leaderboard after 8 games of play. Futurestation leading the charge right now with 99 points, 1 shy of the ton. FINTOX in second position with 87 points. Again, they've had a wonderful day. Team Insane, they still have 4 games on hand, as does BlitzkriegXP. Now, Blitzkrieg are in the 8th position with 57 points. But again, those 4 games can be pretty instrumental if they want to make it to the top 3. They can potentially even topple the leaders. Now, XSpark in 9th position, 57 points, 4 games in hand as well. So on this side right now, Thug, all these teams, one big game can make it or break it.
Yeah, I mean, like if XSpark gets a chicken dinner, or even like these teams are safe. We know that we have one
Yep.
group that's exiting, but most of the teams do look safe. Apart from the teams standing at the 13, 14, 15, 16 spot. I mean, like even until Optimum Esports, I think they are safe. HEX ReaperX STALWART Esports, I think we can conclude only once we get to see the next page, wherein I see, yes, FALLENangelz and Nox officials struggling a bit. And it's interesting to see FALLENangelz struggling because, I mean, like we have seen them everywhere, but somehow they haven't been able to convert.
I guess that is their bane as well, because they have been everywhere. You know, sometimes you need to focus on one position and then move on to the next. But I think that could be their downfall as well. But Team LegStump, now I know we only saw them play 4 games yesterday. 19 points is not something we expect from the big boys. I mean, we've got Bhishma, we've got Joker, we've got all those wonderful players. Perhaps day 3 is going to be different, but all in all, I think it was a good day of PUBG Mobile action. Unexpected matches, because finally the zone did what we expected to do, you know, be a complete thorn on the side. I can't use any other words right now, but you know what I want to say. But haphazard circles, and overall, I love the fact that all the teams weren't shying away from fights.
Right, and you know, I think we should quickly take a look at the kill leaders for the overall semi-finals until now. And Ryu standing out with 19 kills for his team, and Pirate JX, we discussed about this guy, 13 kills. But yes, obviously here we are talking mismatch game numbers, so these are not the obvious figures.
They aren't the obvious figures, but boy, Pirate JX was really instrumental in Team ESN's success today. And yes, sir, and they do have 4 games in hand as well, so we might just see them in the top 5 in the semi-finals. But let's have a look at 6 to 10. Insane Spray God, what a show he put up for us yesterday. 9 kills to his name. Mad Dog making it to the table with just 1 game. 1 game, and here he is in the overall kill leaders. In 7th position, Dormammu in 8th with 9 kills. Somraj, of course, from Futurestation. Somraj, he's been instrumental in his team's success as well. 8 kills to his name. And Shockwave from Team Insane doing his bit as well. Now, tomorrow is when the Titans are going to clash. Well, not tomorrow. By tomorrow, you mean the next time
the next day we come back.
The next, that is tomorrow, all right, for all future purposes. But then when we do come back, it's going to be, I do believe, Group B taking on Group C. So we're going to have Team Mayhem. We're going to have XSpark. We're going to have all the big guys
going ahead. And I think that is what the essence of this PMC is ultimately going to be about. I mean, like the names that we just discussed, I hope there are other names that step up, but from the looks of it,
definitely
I feel that, you know, it's actually tough ask, because, you know, when they're divided into groups and we don't see those, I actually completely forgot that we have Mayhem and Insane sitting at other group, and I was being so happy. Okay, we have ESN performing, but then I think the next day is gonna be a test of the real. Even today was a tough day, but I somehow feel that Group A is a little lousy one, where we have teams not that difficult. But Group B versus Group C, that's gonna be the real test of skill.
That is definitely, I do agree with a lot of things you said. And yes, it's going to be amazing to see what these boys bring to the table. And I guess we should expect something of the same explosive start as we did today. And it's been a pleasure as always. But I think one very well-deserved day of rest in between, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, like it was a great day, and we do have a break tomorrow. But I think, guys, that's it for today. We're gonna be back day after, fully charged up and boosted as always. See you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay home. 8-bit Thug and XP signing off.